What's good, y'all? We are live. I'm Jamil Parker, and this is YSM Sports Media. Yeah, the shit hit the fan today. The shit definitely hit the fan today. Let me adjust the lighting real fast. Yeah, man. News broke. Terence Crawford is suing Bob Arum for what's the correct terminology? I'm gonna say racial bias, and that it affect his career financially. Um, I definitely didn't expect this. I thought that Bud would do business with Bob going forward here and there, but yeah, this definitely threw me for a loop, and I wanted to give everybody get everybody's thoughts before I gave my own. So y'all can just hit the comment section. You tell me you tell me what you think. Did you see this coming? Do you think it's valid? Do you think it's unwarranted? What? My man John Snow says, I wonder if PBC is up to this. You know, I don't know why you would assume PBC, being that Bud isn't signed to Al Heyman. So I wouldn't understand why he would be, behind this. But shit, I'll seem crazy at things. Um, John, do you feel like it's warranted? That's the big question, though. Do you feel like because this isn't the first time we've heard this criticism in regards to Bob, and I'm going to shoot Bob a little bit of bail. Like I always try to give both perspectives, but I'm gonna shoot Bob a little bit of bail a little bit later on. But I just want to see what everybody in the comment section has to say. So, do you feel like this lawsuit is warranted, and what do you think the outcome would be of said lawsuit? My man John says, need more details, of course. Yeah. I mean, this isn't the first time we've heard stuff like this in regards to Top Rank. So I can't say I'm surprised. I'm surprised that Bud was the one to do it. I'm not surprised of the lawsuit. But my man Manny says, I thought it was Earl's fault. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. A lot of Bud fans or, anti PBC fans was really jumping down Al's throat and Earl's throat and saying, yeah, PBC was sabotaging Bud's career, and that he was the reason why he wasn't getting. They were the reason why Bud wasn't getting the big fights, and it was all out. Like you've been seeing, just a media storm frenzy. Oh, PBC's broke. They're scared of the Crawford fight, and out of nowhere, Terence Crawford sues Bob Arum, citing him and citing racial bias for the reason why his career has been stagnant. I think Bud fans and media outlets that trash PBC on the regular need to apologize. My man, Just Do Boxing, salute, bro. I definitely didn't see this coming from Bud, but then again, I'm not totally surprised. I understand, Just Do. I didn't think Bud would be the one to do it, but we've heard this before. And I'm gonna just give my perspective real quick. You tell me if you agree, you disagree. Okay, so if we go back, um, Bob Arum and the Nation of Islam started Top Rank Promotions. A lot of people don't know that. And it was built around, obviously, Muhammad Ali. Okay. Bob Arum ended up buying them out probably like a decade or two later or whatnot. And then, he promoted Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard. Um, what other prominent black fighters that they promote besides Muhammad Ali? Um, hmm. I don't know if he ever promoted Marvin Hagler. I'm not sure. Or Tommy Hearns. But I know that it's three most famous black fighters: Floyd, Ray Leonard, Ali. And Floyd has always said that Bob doesn't really know how to promote black fighters. I'm not sure if it's Oh, I'm gonna bring up my man. My man JR from the Boxing Source. What's good? What up, Jay?
What it do, man?
I knew Lennar was gonna show up. I knew he was gonna show up, Lennar. You gonna dance on the grave tonight?
Hmm.
My man Tristan Charles says Top Rank has done Bud wrong for years. My man Manny said Hagler. Oh, so we did promote Hagler. I wasn't sure. Thanks, Manny. I appreciate that. Okay, so I'm gonna say it's a generational thing with Bob. Reason why. Ali was a draw. Ray Leonard was a draw. Hagler could draw. In order to promote the black fighter now, you need to understand hip hop. You need to understand this generation. Bob's 90 years old. He's 90 years old. And he's not black. He's an old Jewish man. How is he going to understand the black demographic? Now, what might have been short-sighted on Bob, he should have brought in a young black guy to help him with that. And I thought that was Jay Prince and Antonio Leonard's role. But maybe it's just like a manager promoter type relationship. And maybe he needs to look at Andre Ward. Jay, what's your thoughts?
I mean, in reference to this lawsuit in general, I'm still like up in the air about it. Terence Crawford has kind of added in Brian Friedman as an attorney, who's like a pretty well known attorney, to say the least. That's defended a lot of celebrities over the years. But my thing is that some of the stuff that's in the lawsuit kind of is pretty strange to me because it's almost like like one like it's in reference like of a breach of contract of sorts, and I'm like, well, if it's a breach of contract that's being charged here, then you could have had the ability to break that contract immediately when you basically claimed that breach, you know. So if that's the case, then why would you continue to do business with that company? My other thing is like, well, one, they're saying like they didn't really see anything in reference to claims of racism
Mm.
um, in this lawsuit. That's number one. And number two is I don't see involvement of Terence Crawford's manager included in this lawsuit. And we all know that manager is Mr. Brian Bomack McIntyre. I did post on Twitter earlier today when I had the conversation with Brian Bomack McIntyre of November 2020. And if y'all know, back then, that was when Terence Crawford, I mean not Terence Crawford, excuse me, but Bob Arum, after
Mm.
Terence Crawford's fight with Kell Brook, made those comments about, well, Terence Crawford is a guy that I'm losing money on. Look, buy houses in California for, the amount of money that I've lost with Terence Crawford.
Mm.
And, even back then, what I was telling Bomac was y'all could have, seen about getting out of the contract then or, free Terence Crawford then. But, they ended up having one more fight. Looked like, they pretty much honored the contract. And it's like now, Terence Crawford is now under the, guise of MTK Global. So it's like now you have this lawsuit with Top Rank, and then regardless of what happens with that, now who are you going to deal with from a business perspective?
All right, I'm gonna get to these comments, and then I'm gonna touch on what you just said, Jay. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so all right, my boy Lennar. Hey, Lennar, I'm gonna drop it in a little bit. I'm gonna let everybody cook. I'm gonna let everybody cook. I'm gonna drop it in a little bit. Probably at the 30-minute mark because I'm only doing a strong hour, man. I ain't gonna be up. The Nets is playing the Bulls. I gotta watch that game. Um, my man Manny said Mayweather changed the game on how to sell black fights. Maybe you're right. He is the biggest draw in history. All right, maybe Bud is not a self promoter, which means he has no crossover appeal to the casuals. Skills pay the bills, but they don't sell fights. Good point. Very good point. My man Matt. Hopefully he wins. Bob Arum Jewish, so this one's going to
Whoa,
be tough.
whoa! I heard that you can't say that particular word on YouTube, so we might have.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that
Wow.
before. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Shit. Um, I wouldn't say that. I would say suing a lawyer is never a good idea. Yeah, suing a lawyer definitely ain't a good idea.
Matt. He said Bob Arum is the best opponent on both resume.
Well,
Oh
it's
no.
just the truth. It's the truth. Bob
I
ain't
mean,
no easy out.
yeah,
Bob ain't no easy out.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yo,
yeah.
I ain't trying to get my monetization taken.
Yeah,
I know how
exactly.
people play, so yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel you. I feel Bob is
Hey
like
man, yo,
Bob been doing business
listen,
for like Bob's been a
yeah,
lawyer for what?
and
Over
that's
60
the thing.
years? Come on, man.
Yeah,
Ain't no
that's the
easy
thing. I'm like, you bringing up this this lawsuit against a longtime lawyer.
a Harvard lawyer. It's not like I'm pretty sure Brian Freeman is a very good lawyer.
Yeah.
So is
Oh yeah.
Bob Arum.
Oh yeah. And
So is Bob Arum, yo. All right.
yeah,
So
exactly, man.
for me, I think it's a generational gap. I think Bob really doesn't know what the black market wants. Therefore, he's still promoting guys in the guise of Sugar Ray Leonard because that was his as far as cash cow goes. Ray
Hmm.
Leonard and Ali. Ali
Right.
was naturally more captivating. Ray Leonard was more of the golden boy, and that seems like how he promotes all black fighters who are like Olympians. Pretty Boy Floyd, Shakur, always smiling. Like Shakur be smiling for no reason.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, whole time Shakur a whole goon, but he like this.
Yeah, be like,
Yeah,
come on.
so everybody can't be promoted that way. Every
Yeah.
and
Word.
and I don't think Bob realizes that. But with Mexicans and Puerto Ricans, it's kind of like a cookie cutter system because all you got to do is roll a Mexican or Puerto Rican out there and they're going to get support. So, in the aspect of Bob, it is easier and less costly to promote a Mexican and a Puerto Rican because they're just going to naturally get support from their community because they just stepped in the ring, as opposed to black people where let's let's keep it a bean. How many black superstars you got out there right now? I ain't talking about boxing, basketball, football.
Hmm.
How many Mexican and Puerto Rican stars do you have in other sports that dominate America? The most popular athlete in the world is not Floyd Mayweather. The most popular athlete in the world is LeBron James. Oh, in America.
Yeah, in America,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So you got about 40 to 50 basketball and football players before you get to a boxer.
Yep. Um Shoot, there's I think there's like a list out there about, um, popular athletes and yeah, like most popular athletes or something like that. Like I saw like a few years ago, but they probably like updated up to now, and you have to go down to the low 50s or maybe 60s to find a boxer as far as like popularity goes. So
Yes.
you're gonna have, the top 10, 15 guys in basketball, top 10 in football or whatever it is. Um, some in baseball as well before you even get to a boxer. So Yeah, there's that.
Hey,
Um,
Lennar trying to start some shit tonight. Not tonight, Lennar. Not tonight. I know exactly where you're going. Not tonight, man. We gonna stay on cue tonight.
yeah, man, you ain't trying to
Let's stay
get us.
on cue. We ain't get into that conversation. Um, look at Tank. Yeah, to
Yeah,
see how the season
yeah.
like.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's exactly right. Um, Tank Davis is, one of the guys, of course, is among the, four, I guess what they supposedly said last year or the year before, the four horsemen. But Tank Davis is someone who kind of like goes into pop culture and crosses over, and they get the crowd from like 18 to 35 or whatever it is, and they see who Tank Davis is from that, and then it translates over to his fights. That's why he could, sell out in Atlanta. That's why he could sell well in Los Angeles or in Texas or wherever he's going to be planning on going. So yeah, that's a good look. Um, who is it, Matt? That was talking about the thing for the lawyer. Um,
yeah, I think so.
yeah. And I was talking about Brian Freeman. Brian Freeman is a guy who represented the likes of Mike Garcia, Lincoln
Ooh.
Park, Vin Diesel, Mariah Carey, Kate Beckinsale, Julia Roberts, Robert Downey Jr., Gabrielle Union, and in a way, the Paul brothers. So it's gonna be a good. I mean, if it was like a fight, this would be this would have been a good little fight, But this is over in the courts, so um, it's like I said initially when I came on. This is a very interesting thing given the status of Terence Crawford right now, and what could potentially happen with him. So
All right. What had me thinking? Why now? It's been months. Why now? Did you already secure something? Because for me, it doesn't make sense for you to do it if Josh Taylor is a possibility.
mhm.
But if you already secured something more lucrative and something more to your liking, then now you want to spread your wings like Troop. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it got me thinking about that Keith Thurman fight. Because Keith said, hey, if you offer me, I'll fight you this summer. Oh no. Oh
I don't
no.
know, but I found it interesting the amount of money that the lawsuit was for.
Mm,
Me personally, given that it was like a number that pretty much was like thrown out there or thrown out there a few times
mm,
in reference to Terence Crawford and what he could have earned in a potential fight, not against Manny Pacquiao, just against Manny Pacquiao, but against Errol Spence Jr. Um, and back in 2020, when they were talking about the whole thing with Manny Pacquiao, they were talking about for $40 million guarantee for Manny Pacquiao and $10 million for Crawford. I mean, that could be one thing, but as far as I know, they didn't mention anything in reference to a fight with Manny Pacquiao in the lawsuit. But
mm.
they did talk about something with Errol Spence in the lawsuit, and I think that's where maybe that $10 million comes from. I'm not sure, but you know, it could be.
Good point, because me and you both heard for years the guarantee that Terence Crawford and Earl Spence wanted was,
Yeah, around $10 million.
yeah,
And this is like, going into that whole thing with Spence Crawford real quick. That's been a discussion that, me and Jamil have been pretty much, telling folks for a while now, is that yeah, you think you could come up with $20 million, and there have been other people that have talked about Spence Crawford being a $20 million fight. There's
mm,
been like Teofimo Lopez been on record that thinks it was a $20 million fight.
yeah,
However, you gotta have the numbers to match up in order for them to make that fight happen. And when you have boxing gates that are like 2.2, $2.3 million on Spence's side, and you really can't get any numbers for Crawford's side, especially for his recent fight against Sean Porter. If those numbers don't match up, you can't really go for
Not
that
at
fight
all. Not at all.
because they're not
Let
in
me
the
get,
business of losing money.
no, let me get to these comments real fast, Jay. All right, my man John. I think Tank sells because of his orbit to Floyd. Tank also be baptizing dudes though, bro. Like you can being close to Floyd, I mean it helps. But when you sending dudes to the shadow realm along with that, it definitely helps. Um, my man, Mr. JC, I recently found his channel. I love the content, the boxes you highlight. Thanks, bro. I really appreciate that, man. I really appreciate the love. Come back, man. I do this for y'all. My guy, H Money. What up, H? Why some salute Crawford needs to focus on fighting Earl Spence and Boots instead of Bob Arum. I agree. I agree. I don't think this is something that he's going to be able to prove. I'm just not sure. Not sure. Terence Crawford wasting time trying to prove Bob Arum is a racist. I feel like Bob is just out of touch with promoting black fighters. He's 90 years old. I don't really expect a 90-year-old to know what 20 or 30-year-olds want to watch. Terence Crawford keep the same energy with Boots. Oh, you know he's not gonna do that. Neither is his fan base. His fan base is coming up with any reason of why. Oh man, who's gonna pay for the fight? Cameron Duncan ain't got money like that. Espinosa do. Now what? Oh no, Crawford should fight this guy. Ain't nobody available. You want to complain about
Mhm.
Spence versus Ugas? There's nobody available that could that should be in the ring with Terence Crawford but Boots. So now what? Y'all was laughing when Earl was going to have Boots as his mandatory. Now the energy to change. Come on,
I think we got like a few more comments on Q. But I had like a couple of thoughts, follow-up thoughts on
my
this.
man. Maybe Bud can't blame no one but Bud. Yeah. He said I'm late to the show, but Terence Crawford is right on this one. Right in the aspect in what regards? Okay. Do I think Top Rank knows how to promote black fighters? No, I don't. Do I think that they push Mexican and Puerto Rican fighters? Yes, I do. And for I'm not sure if it's for racial reasons. I'm not gonna act like racism don't exist, but I can't really put that label on Bob. Do I think it's because he doesn't know the black market? Yeah. And Jay, would you agree that it's easier to promote Puerto Ricans and Mexicans than it is black fighters? And
Yes.
I believe that I'm not gonna say lazy, but it's less work. It's less work.
Yes, let's work. Um, one thing that I was thinking about actually immediately after the lawsuit had, the news of the lawsuit became public. I said, you know what? I wonder how Jared Anderson, Shakur Stevenson, Steven Nelson,
Mm,
Jamel Herring, Troy Isley, Haven Brady Jr.,
yeah,
um, Bruce Carrington. I wonder how they feel about this particular lawsuit because that's if they were saying that an element of racism was a factor in Top Rank and Bob Arum's lack of promoting Terence Crawford. I wonder how those who have now signed or are still under Top Rank feel about that because if it was something like in reference to racism, then those fighters all across the board should have been able to step up and say, hey, how come you're having this particular issue with Terence Crawford? They would be able to, at least for a certain extent, come up with a lawsuit as well. But the thing about it is, some of those guys I mentioned pretty much just signed with them. Keyshawn Davis just
yeah,
signed with Top Rank. Shushu Carrington, Bruce Carrington just signed with Top Rank. Avon Brady signed with Top Rank last year, pretty much. So that is something that I kind of like say, what is up with all that? the other thing was in reference to Terence Crawford when he re-upped with Top Rank. It was under the premonition or the thought that maybe I could still have this fight with Manny Pacquiao. That was his aim, you know, because if you're looking at it from a management standpoint, you're like thinking, okay, Top Rank has Manny Pacquiao, but outside of Manny Pacquiao, we really don't have much of anything at all.
Mm.
So with him kind of like losing that Manny Pacquiao fight, his leverage was pretty much like out the window. Did he get a good, very good guarantee? Yeah, sure. But your leverage is out the window. Fights against other welterweights, especially the top welterweights, they're not, makeable or as easy as it is as if you time with, say PBC or Heyman boxing. I compare this to the situation with Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley could have signed with, PBC or Golden Boy years ago, where he could have fought Amir Khan. He could have fought Danny Garcia. He could have fought like Lamont Peterson back in the day. But he signed with Top Rank. First fight, Manny Pacquiao. Look at his resume at welterweight. Manny Pacquiao 3 times. Juan Manuel Marquez. I think it was Brandon Rios or something like that.
Jesse Vargas,
Ruslan Provodnikov.
Yeah.
Look at that resume.
The Top Rank special. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's basically a Top Rank special, but I mean that resume is really, really good. But at that time, Top Rank had the welterweights.
They had quality welterweights. And
they had quality welterweights.
Al Heyman welterweights were really, really young. They were prospects.
Yeah. So,
Real fast, Jack. Let me get to this comment. What happens if the lawsuit absolves and then Bob Arum sues back for defamation of character? Yeah, it's but Jay, I'll let you get that.
It can happen. It can happen.
Yeah. Woo. Just do. You make a good point. Bob's definitely out of touch with people and reality at times. Yeah, he's an old man. Bob sometimes gives you vibes of the old man yelling out the window. Oh man, Mandy says money. Sorry, let me just catch up with these, Jay. And then I'm gonna let you cook. All right, we got another special guest. The Lord of Smoke.
What's up?
What up? My guy Greg Hackett. What's good?
Oh man, it's good. It's great.
I'm just chilling.
Says, but Bob could have done his due diligence to help Crawford become the pay-per-view star he deserves to be. I don't think Bob did a good job of promoting Bud, but also Bud didn't do a good job of self-promoting. It's like you got to get out, you got to touch the people, man. Bud is a surly kind of dude, man. He just want to stay in the cut with his grizzly on, and just go in the ring and just beat people up.
Yeah.
All right. Hey Greg, the topic is Terence Crawford has just sued Bob Arum.
Yeah.
Citing racial. What's the details of the suit, Jack?
Well, it's more of something in reference to breach of contract. I don't know about the thing for like if race was a factor in it, but breach of contract, lack of promotion, that type of stuff.
Yeah. We all know that though. That's the crazy part. We all can see it.
Do you feel like he has a chance of winning this case, Jay?
I think he does simply because if you look at the lineup, the guys who get the biggest promotions, the Mexican guys, Puerto Rican guys, you know what I mean? Look at Berlanga when he was on a knockout streak. They was trying to make us believe he was the biggest puncher all time. You know what I'm saying? Based off of him fighting nobody. So, you know what I mean? If Bud is beating the guys he's supposed to be beating, I think he could have did a better job of getting bigger fights. I mean, he's doing his job. His job is not to promote. His job is to fight. The promoter's supposed to promote. So they got to come up with ideas to keep us interested in the fighter. But I don't think he thought Bud was going to make it that far, to be honest.
You thought he just thought Bud was just going to be I ain't gonna say a contender, but just a champion, regular not even pay per view, regular main event fighter.
Yeah, I don't think he saw where he could actually build Bud. So he had him hanging around as long as he could. But we all know Bob is one of the biggest promoters of all time. So what's the problem? It's really not a problem. But I think he just didn't want to take a shot on Bud. Because if you think about it, remember, Bud was 130 pounds and he moved all the way up to 47. So how many guys keep on winning as they moving up? So I think he just never prepared for Bud to be a big draw. But he is at the end of the day.
He is what, a big draw or a great fighter?
I mean, he a big draw simply because people want to see him fight. I'm not saying he got everybody interested, but that's the promoter's job. You gotta get the interest on his side. Look how guys is talking about what's the Puerto Rican kid? The other one.
You would say Berlanga.
Edgar?
Berlanga, but what's the other one? The young kid
Um,
fighting at 47 and 54.
Xander.
Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas ain't beat nobody, but we all know his name. We know his name because they promoting him. He ain't fight nobody.
Let me get to this comment real fast. Facts. Boots is a problem, but we simply don't know until we know. Boots has passed all the questions until now. He has to keep proving. I'm a fan.
Man, I might have to
Man.
mute himself.
And he says Top Rank got no 147 on 154 stars. All right, we got another dude in the building. My man Donald J was good, though.
Yo.
What's
Top
up,
Rank
man? Y'all seen
140.
Bud, bro? Y'all seen Bud?
What's up, Daoud?
Yo,
Hey,
Greg, what's up, Greg?
hey, Nard, you gotta chill in the comments, bro.
What happened?
You hear me? You gotta chill in the comments, kid.
No, I ain't comment. I ain't
Oh
comment.
no,
I
no,
just said,
I ain't talking about you. I'm just telling my man
oh,
Lennar, you gotta chill.
acting crazy in the chat.
He getting a little too spicy, man.
Oh,
I'm
people
about to
saying
get on
crazy
and
shit.
fire that. But what's going on, man?
Uh, Bud sued Bob Arum.
Yo, you know what though? Listen, when I first heard that, I was thinking like, yo, that's crazy, cause how he gonna prove what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
But one joint he did that did stick out. When he could have got Bud the Pacquiao fight, he said he ain't do it because he ain't want to see Pacquiao go out like that. Ain't that like a conflict of interest? Because he wasn't even Pacquiao promoter no more. He was Bud promoter. So you kind of stalling my career. Like, and then I don't know if he got some more evidence of something like that happening, or if he has like another instance where something like that happened. But I know that one alone should be a problem. That one little thing, because like how can and then you set it out in the public, and then once you knew Terence Crawford was going to leave, you started saying like you lose money on him and all that all the time. So he basically was kind of trying to like devalue him and make it hard for him to get like a good deal with another promoter. So he do got certain stuff that he could say that like, yo, Bob shouldn't have handled him that way. I just Bob Arum is a lawyer, man. He ain't, jokers be knowing what they be doing sometimes. So I don't know, but I understand where you're coming from. I get it.
Hey H, I'm gonna just kind of like fade that out a little bit later. Where he's at, you can't turn the music down. My man's out and about. That's the Lord of Smoke right now.
Yeah.
He's, you
He
know,
out and about.
he's Eddie Futch. He's Eddie Futch in the daytime. He's Lord of Smoke at night.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My man, Chris was good. Chris Crawford himself has admitted that he didn't show up for promotional events that Top Rank scheduled for him. Ooh,
Ooh.
that's gonna be if
And
they
he
have
looked
record
at
of
it
that,
up.
that's gonna be a joke.
Yeah,
Who's that?
that's Hey Bill, that's why I made the comment. That's why I made that comment, and I was like, I don't know if he could necessarily prove that, but like it's just it is certain stuff that happened though. Whereas though he could say like, yo, like they didn't handle me properly.
I mean, Ethan says Boots, Ortiz, all knocked the F out. Just do boxing. No other one promoter can think of telling their fighter to promote themselves. I agree. I agree. But it seems like promoters nowadays just want like a ready-made fighter, like instant macaroni and cheese that you just put in the microwave and just let them cook.
Or instant rice. But I have a comment on that in a little bit. You could go through the comments a little bit more.
All right, my man Terrence Wiseman. I've been saying for years Bob Arum didn't know how to promote Bud. Hell, Bud's pay-per-views didn't get promoted to the week of, while Fury versus Schwartz, Loma versus Corolla was promoted weeks ahead. That's
That's what
valid.
I'm saying. Shit like that.
It's little shit. Yeah, it's like little. Yeah, that's another one.
That's valid.
Terrence was right about that. I know Terrence too. Shout out to Terrence. I know him from
Bomac
internet.
himself said he told Bud not to sign the Pacquiao fight. It's going to be tough for that one to hold up.
Ooh.
Ooh, you know what? Cause I didn't. I do remember that being said though. That comment that homie brought up. I do remember that being said. But like I said the first time, I distinctively remember Bob Arum saying that, and I remember thinking when he said it, like, yo, like you don't even promote Manny no more. That was my whole thing when I heard it. Like, yo, Manny's not even your fighter no more. And you acting like
It's kind of like, but I mean, it's kind of like Bob Arum got a deadline for these guys, and once they meet the deadline, it's like he really like, all right, you on your own.
it don't even matter no more.
Yeah,
I mean, more on like the main parts of the lawsuit. Like you're saying, like for breach of contract for Top Rank Fade to deliver an offer for a fight with Errol Spence by the end of 2020, and a $900,000 bonus connected to it.
So they never offer Earl. They never call Earl and offer them to fight.
Doesn't that's what he's
Basing it off
going
of.
for or putting the lawsuit up for. You know,
Okay.
um,
Wait, real fast. I want to appreciate the super chat, my man. Pound for pound, sports entertainment. Salute, hit that like button. I appreciate that. Hey, Fred, I know it's Greg. He can't do nothing about that. All right, I'm gonna put the link in the chat, and I'm gonna let everybody rock out.
um, I mean, I was talking about like the whole thing with who is it? Bruce Trampler and Carl Moretti. We're pretty much like two and three in top rank under Bob Arum. And
Right.
y'all remember back when Danny Garcia was quote unquote offered $3 million to fight Terence
They
Crawford.
offer more. They
You
offer
know,
Amir Khan more to fight Bud and
like
Danny beat Amir Khan.
right,
That was a low ball.
right. But not only was it a low ball, it was where they sent it to Angel Garcia,
Right.
and we know that you don't send offers to your trainer or your manager when it comes to
No.
guys like that. You send it to Al, and they send it to Al. So at
That's
least
because
then you would have thought that Terence Crawford could have said, "Hey, if you're doing this type of stuff, then what makes me think that you could really offer a fight for me and Errol Spence,
right.
or get me the Earl Spence fight rather.
or give me the Errol Spence fight?" You know,
Bob never tried to get him Earl Spence. They was doing the
no, he
Pacquiao
didn't.
the whole time. They wasn't trying to fight Earl Spence.
Yeah, he
Now
wasn't trying
listen,
to fight Errol Spence,
I
but
don't think it's no. When I say this, I'm not talking against Bud Crawford. I want to
mm-hmm,
be clear about that. I
mm-hmm,
feel like that's what Top Rank did with Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. They never was. They wasn't trying to make the Floyd fight. They was just wanting to use Floyd name. The whole time they had Manny fighting in-house fights to the point we see Manny fight people 2 and 3 times, bro.
Facts.
Like he
Well,
was fighting he was
Facts.
fighting Mile High Mike Alvarado and fucking like he was
Brandon
fighting
Leo,
some bull.
you know,
Not like all disrespect to Mile High Mike, but I'm saying when you look at what was going on at the welterweight division, they had Manny Pacquiao fighting in-house fights. If they wasn't in-house fights, they wasn't really shopping Manny Pacquiao out, bro.
That's how Jeff
Facts.
Horn got a shot.
Right.
What
Bob
he
Arum and
do?
his Australia connect.
Right.
but I think
And
that
then
would should have sent Terence Crawford a message right there when they
and
had
Uh,
if
Manny
right.
Pacquiao going up against Jeff Horn
and
initially.
and if you want to talk about a smaller tier guy that was getting promoted, Tiafimo was getting promoted heavily, and he wasn't knocking but the guys he was knocking out was guys he was supposed to knock out. He was getting promoted heavy.
Fakes.
Yep.
Actually,
Yep.
Yo,
that's
yo.
a good example, right?
Why I see him.
What was that?
What's up, John?
Crawford
Why I
versus
see him.
Kavaliauskas, right?
You weren't about to call me nigga?
Hey, Lennar, go ahead, cook, Lennar.
Yeah.
Lennar been waiting to get his stuff off, man.
Huh?
Go ahead, cook.
Hey,
All
yo,
right.
you gotta do me a favor though, bro. You gotta
Sure.
chill in the comments, man.
I
Chill.
I see you getting ready. Well, we got
Nah,
some
man,
Vicks for you.
uh, man, I
Ryan
seen
getting
some
ready
stuff
for
and it
something.
threw me off.
He
But
been shadow
We
boxing on
keep
the
it
phone.
strictly sports.
yeah.
What's up?
I know. I won't
All right,
go there. I won't
go
go
ahead,
there.
go ahead.
I just saw some things that struck a chord with me. So I was like, oh man. But anyway, so see, this the thing about this situation right here. You have evidence on both sides to prove each person. If you look at it from starting off with Terence Crawford's standpoint, for example, you can use people of color like Floyd Mayweather and other people like Mikey Garcia, even, and all these fighters who seem to be pound for pound and make a big name for themselves in the sport of boxing. Moving on, you can use some of Bob's comments like, "Oh, that he's used," even though some of them is facts, it is truthful, a lot of it, but you can use some of his comments to slander that he used to slander Terence Crawford, but he didn't slander Tyson Fury though, and Tyson Fury wasn't selling out either in America.
Yep.
So there's evidence on both sides, and if you look at it from Bob Aaron's perspective, the so-called Jew, I'll just leave it at that. But if you look at it
Okay.
from Bob Aaron's perspective, you have him who is like, I'm giving you the highest guarantee of your career, right? You can't, how can you complain even when you weren't even pulling in the revenue to justify that? I'm still giving you the highest pay-per-view the highest numbers of your career. So how can you call me a racist? And if you look at it from Bob Aaron's perspective as well, how can you how can you how can somebody be racist but yet they sign black fighters? I mean, you know what I'm saying? So to speak, right? So I mean, I think there's evidence on both sides that can prove a point. Me personally, do I think Bob Arum's a racist? Probably, or at least I think he said racist things in the past, and probably behind closed doors to his friends. But do I believe that he's as racist not to make money with people of color, black fighters like Floyd Mayweather or Sugar Ray Leonard? Oh no, he's gonna make his money because he's gonna make his. He's a person you can tell Bob Arum about his money. So, but now I think there's evidence on both sides why it's him. But it's gonna be funny because if Terence Crawford, because I think he's burned a lot of bridges now.
Yeah.
Eddie Hearn don't want to work with him. Now I don't. He probably ain't gonna get that Josh Taylor fight. And now PBC they said they can't offer to pay him this high guarantee. So it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen with Terence Crawford because he's burning a lot of bridges.
Can I
I
ask a
mean,
question real quick?
yeah.
All right. Do we want to say?
Real fast, I want to introduce somebody because I never got a chance to when he popped in. I want to shout out the hardest working man on YouTube. My man be giving out 8-hour lives, 14-hour lives, man. Shout out to my man H Money, man.
Okay, hey, that's props
Shout
to
out
H
to my
Money.
man.
ISM, my boy, was good though.
The hardest working man in show business.
What up, man? What's good, my boy, man? I just want to tap in real quick with you. Man, one of my favorite channels on YouTube to watch. Brother, you putting in that work. Y'all representing Philly. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you brothers out there got a responsibility. Philadelphia is a fight town. You talking about some of the greatest champions that ever lived came from Philadelphia. Bernard Hopkins, Joe Frazier, Sonny Liston, my brother. And now we got Boots Ennis. Man, I'm excited for Boots Ennis, man. Terence Crawford wasted his time with Bob Arum. You want to do all of this with Bob Arum, but he ain't got no energy for Boots Ennis. He ain't got no smoke for Boots Ennis. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see. I want to see Terence Crawford say something about Boots. Nigga, fuck Bob Arum. You know what I'm saying? You just left Bob Arum. Move on with your motherfucking career. I want to see Terence Crawford challenge himself against Boots Ennis. It's about that motherfucking time. You know what I mean? He gonna sit on a shelf and try to sue fucking Bob Arum, you know, waste that time, waste your money on lawyers and do all of that. How the fuck you gonna prove that Bob Arum is a racist? And I like Terence Crawford. I fuck with him. But come on, man. You fighting a battle that you can't win, dog. Don't do this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's my honest opinion. You know, you got Earl Spence fighting against Ugas in the unification. What Crawford gonna be doing? He busy fighting against Bob Arum in a fucking lawsuit? Come on, man. Come on, bro. I want to see the best fight the bets. And Jerron Ennis is a top 5 welterweight in every sanctioning body, man. He's ranked #1 in the IBF. He's one of the best. Let's make that shit happen. You know what I mean? I like Terence Crawford a lot, but I'm not gonna sit here and cap for him. Bob Arum been in the business for years, my nigga. Why wait now until for you to say some shit about this? You been with the nigga for how long, dog? Come on now. Come on, Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? And then you got Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Jared Anderson, all of these young black fighters signing with Top Rank. Troy Isley, Duke Reagan, all of these guys. Abdullah Mason. Look at this shit.
Michael Johnson. Yeah.
If it was that bad, why you didn't tell your little brother, Keyshawn Davis, not to sign with Bob? Because he a racist.
Why you sign back?
Yeah, why you sign back? Why you
Go ahead,
He must like it.
Hold on, here go another one. Hold on, guys. Not only did you sign back, but don't forget, you got to get over the fact that he got you out that bad contract you was in. You got to explain.
You talking about?
You got to explain. Listen.
Hey.
We're Bud messed up at.
I guess Terence Crawford's a guy who used to abuse wife, who likes getting his ass whooped. Because again, he re-signed back. So I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you know, it's hard. I understand what he's saying. Like when he says these things, I get it. I get that vibe.
I'm gonna be honest. I did hear some shit from Shakur Stevenson cousin. His cousin name is Teray Stevenson. He's the strength and conditioning coach for Keyshawn Davis. He told me months ago that he did feel like Top Rank was being kind of racist because they didn't want to make that Shakur Stevenson Oscar Valdez fight. They wanted to fight Oscar Valdez. He said they never made that fight happen. You know what I mean? And they said when it came to Shakur Stevenson fighting Jamel Herring, Top Rank made that fight with no fucking problem. When they put 2 black guys against each other, 2 black fighters. But then when it came to fighting Oscar Valdez, they felt like it was some kind of racist type of shit going on. So I did hear that from Shakur cousin.
But this the problem. I'm not saying that don't exist, right? Because I think it's shit like that all the time. I think that they have certain fighters and they be like, yo, don't let him fight black fighters. Like we all know that's like some shit that goes around. I don't know if that's true, but I think I could see how that could possibly like be realistic. My point is though, you have to prove that he messed up your career based off racism. I think Bud would have been better off just saying the dude just made moves that wasn't in my best interest. I think he could have got over being like he wasn't promoting me right. He wasn't handling my shit right. But for him to say he wasn't handling my shit right and it was based off of racism, the ball got too much that he could point to that he do for you. Because like you get overpaid considering who you be fighting and shit like that. So you got so like how I'm racist when I'm letting shit like that happen.
Right. I mean your new contract or your last contract was a $4 million minimum each fight. And if you're getting $4 million at minimum to fight Benavidez or Kell Brook, who was way past it, or Namir Khan, or Gilgis Kamaliauskas. Like you can't really say like you really weren't getting much of nothing, in a sense. But to kind of like say that they didn't really pursue the Errol Spence fight, unless if you say something to the likes of, well, Loma was able to get the fights that he wanted, or Tyson Fury walks in, I'm Tyson Fury, I'm the big bad guy, and I want to fight Deontay Wilder for $20 million, and he's able to get that.
He can't even use that because
Yeah,
that was a rematch. So
Right.
they already had a relationship.
yeah, they already had an existing relationship.
Before he got the top rank. Top
Yep.
rank weasel
Yeah.
into Tyson Fury versus Wilder Mania. They ain't had nothing to do with that when that shit started.
So he can't even use that one. Because
I mean,
Bob
they
can
can't use that.
say that the rematch stipulations were already in place.
It was just that they put in their money towards or work with
So
Warren.
what's gonna be okay? So what's gonna be Bud's next fight? Because I don't think he's getting that Josh Taylor fight. Now you can forget about that.
Oh no, he just fucked that up.
Wait.
Yeah. What do you think is gonna be his next fight?
Who's the
Lennar,
man?
I'm gonna get to that real fast. We're gonna add somebody else. My man Deron Young. What's good, Deron?
Hey, what's going on, my man? How y'all doing?
What up, bro?
How you feeling,
What's
brother?
happening?
Oh, nothing much, man. Yeah, man. I seen Crawford filed that lawsuit, man, and y'all was just saying what his next fight gonna be. Well, his next fight gonna be this lawsuit, man. And I think, but listen though, I think he know what he doing, man. Because if he win this shit, he asking for $10 million, bro. And if I think he win this, I think whatever offer they had on the table allegedly when they was in negotiation, I think he gonna be like, you know what, fuck it, I got my 10 mil for free, nigga. We gonna fight. I think that's the only logic I got from this. Now, if he going after Bob Arum for this, because like I say, he can't get Josh Taylor no more. He ain't doing business with nobody else. Shit, get that fight with Earl, whatever Earl offering, go ahead and do it, man. Let's just get this shit on the road, bro. I don't think this lawsuit gonna take long. I think shit, Top Rank gonna give in. Hey, look, give him what he want, so we ain't got to deal with this guy no more. And shit, hey, after that, I don't think all the negotiations that Smith is asking for is fair. But fuck it, you want legacy?
60-40 is
Go
fair,
get
man.
it. Say what?
60. You talking about the 60-40 split? That's a fair split.
No. Allegedly, it wasn't even 60-40, man. They say that man was talking about some 70-30, 80.
Yeah, that's so you can land that 60-40 though, bro. Listen, the first time he said 60-40 and Bud started talking 50-50. And if you ask me, Earl fucked up right there because he should have just said 70-30 so Bud could say 60-40. I think Bud should get 60-40. In my perfect world, they would get 55-45, but you hardly ever see that, right? 60-40 is legit because Bud don't make no money.
Well,
Yeah.
I can't say he don't
They
make
put a
no
lot
money,
of work
bro.
into building
Like,
Earl Spence, man. If I built Earl Spence, y'all can't tell me to get 50-50. I just wouldn't listen to that. I'm just being honest.
But like I'm saying, like, you gave Danny Garcia 60-40. He ain't had no belt though, man.
Yeah,
but that's
he in
the
the
thing, though,
PBC. I work to get that fight with you though. I work to be the A side when I fought a person like you. Danny is not the big money pay-per-view. Like, it's a good fight, it's a solid fight to make me some money. But the Bud Crawford fight is the fight that they worked for. We all know that. We was sitting here watching it. We was sitting here watching them build it. That's like saying, that's like when it was Manny Pacquiao and we was like, Manny Pacquiao should take $40 million. Like, on some real shit, you could say that, but like, fuck no. Like, we was building him up to fight Floyd. No, we won 40% and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we did this shit for, so we could have a leg to
And
stand on with this shit. We didn't do that to get all the way here and say, nah.
I'm hearing rumors that Bud's gonna go up and fight the winner of Jamel Castano, and assuming if Jamel wins that fight and Bud goes up, my money's on Jamel. I think that's career suicide for Bud. I think he gets knocked out clean.
All right, so wait, let me say this first. First, in no way in hell can Terence Crawford beat Jermell Charlo.
No.
Or Brian Castano. It's a bad idea for any of these 47s to move up to 154 right now at this time.
I think that might have been like a leverage tactic he was doing. I don't think he was really gonna go up, but he might.
You gotta pretend you got options, right?
Yeah, but
it's
You got to
this is the
pretend you
thing.
got options.
But like I'm telling
Only
y'all, fellas, if he doing this shit, suing Bob Arum, and he got a good lawyer like he do, and he get that 10 mil, what else is there to do? Hey, look,
hey
all right, fuck it, I
Duran,
got what I want for
this is
free.
what you got to think about though.
Mhm.
Why is he suing him now?
Because of what the defamation that he did.
I know, but what news did he get that made him feel like
He don't
okay,
need them no more.
exactly?
What news he
You
got?
got to think about that.
Yeah, what happened that he feel as though like fuck Top Rank? I'm gonna really
I
go at
don't
him.
like Josh Taylor isn't an option. I'm gonna go like I got exactly what I need. Now I can go get his dude my ass to kiss. I'm thinking
and
he done made a deal with Al for Keith Thurman, or
but that doesn't.
deal with
But
Al. I'm gonna give you Keith. I'm gonna give you Spence. I'm gonna give you Charlie.
I think, and that's what I'm saying, fellas. Like, whenever he said the 154 I think that shit was just a tactic, man, to get, like he say, to try to get what he want. But just think of it. If I'm going to file a lawsuit for 10 mil, like, you gotta have some type of confidence and think that, all right, I might be able to win this shit. And if I could win this shit, it's no other way. Like, oh, it's no other excuse. Like, all right, I got what I want. I got $10 million without fighting. So shit, whatever they offering on that table, let me go ahead and take this so I can get undisputed.
I don't think it's that deep, wise Sam. I don't think that he has anything lined up. I just think that he probably just made a decision
You don't
where
think Bud is thinking on that level. That's what you're saying, Lennar.
Nah, but I
don't think, Wise. I don't get that feeling. I just don't get that feeling like he has stuff lined up. I don't get that feeling.
Nah, maybe not a fight.
I want to send a shout out to my man G5 Jeff. Probably the best live show on YouTube, man. Great boxing content. Y'all subscribe to my man G5 Jeff. Subscribe to H Money. Subscribe to the Boxing Source, man. I love all these dudes, man. I'm a fan myself.
So, what do you think his next fight's gonna be? So I didn't get to ask you guys. You guys didn't answer.
It's probably gonna be Ugas and Spence, man. Are you gonna wait for them? It's no other way. I don't see him fighting Boots.
Keith Thurman.
I don't think it's Keith Thurman. I think they might do if they can't get Crawford in the ring, it is gonna be Errol Spence and Keith Thurman.
Hey Jay, who you say? You keep shaking your head. Who is it, Jay?
Regis program.
Hey, I said that before. Hey, don't laugh because I've said. Listen, I'm already on record as stating that I thought that Errol Spence, when he didn't have his fight with Ugas, I was on record as saying I think he is a good option to be Regis Progrerius. I always said that, so I don't. You thought too far.
Ain't nobody watching that shit, man.
That's a good
I don't know
fight.
if niggas give a fuck about a Regis fight.
I don't know
if niggas give a fuck about it. I ain't gonna lie about that. I don't know.
That's not a bad fight. Man. That's a good fight.
And I like Regis. But come on, man. We ain't doing that, man. I'm not paying $70 for Regis for Bud versus Regis program. I seen you wipe out a division, and now I'm gonna pay for you to fight dudes that came on after you wiped out the division.
But what do you make of these rumors that he's gonna go up to 154?
If he does, shout out to him, but he gonna get cooked.
He getting cooked, and the reason why I think that if he fight, I think that if we say Brian Castano wins a rematch, I'm just gonna say him first. I just think that Buzz is just Brian Castano is just gonna eat his shots and just run through him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just think that's what's gonna happen. And I think if it's Jamel, it's a bad stylistic matchup because Jamel, I think that because Bud likes to trade and Jamel, he likes to trade too. But Jamel's just such a bigger guy and stronger guy.
You can't trade with the Charlos.
Bud's chin.
You can't fight them like that.
No, you can't.
You can't fight them like that.
You can't. And Bud's
but I think if he was to fight that guy, if he was to go up and move up, I think it would be a different strategy.
And I think one more thing, and stylistically, I think because Jamel, like how Jamel's the type of fighter where like you can be beating his ass, but out of nowhere he'll come up with a vicious hook or uppercut. You're like, oh, I think those shots would catch.
Lennar, you sitting there giving analyzation. Ain't no analyzation. He's getting cooked if he moves up. He cooked.
He gets his ass cooked.
Cooked. I'm talking about Blade with the walk.
He got cooked.
I ain't gonna lie. Crawford got hands and shit, but the way he fight, he
Yeah.
not getting over on no guys that's like that size. 154 ain't no joke.
Nah,
Word.
it's not. It's
Like
not.
them guys, like Erickson Lubin, all them guys around there, like Terence Crawford. I wouldn't be betting on Terence Crawford to beat those guys
No,
because he doesn't have that kind of defense to say he
no.
gonna go up in there and beat them like that. You
He
gotta have
he
Man.
defense to be the 47
no.
boy and go up in
Yeah,
54 and start beating
he's
them
not
guys.
gonna have
It
the
just,
defense, the
fellas,
stylist. He doesn't have the
you like
size,
you say,
the
it is a
style, or
tough
the
task.
defense.
It is a tough task to move up there. Do y'all think Earl Spence could go up there and get and do good deeds?
Yes,
Healthy,
No,
yes,
no,
I think
no,
so.
he
Healthy, I
can't.
do
No,
Yes,
he
healthy.
I
can't.
think
He'll
so.
do
I think
better.
No, he
so.
can't, bro.
I
He'll do
think
better
so.
because
I
of his
don't think
I
so.
think
size.
so. I think
What
so.
about you, Washington? What you think?
No,
I don't
I
think
think
so
so.
either. I'm sorry. You keep that same. If you say Bud Crawford can't do that, I just don't think Earl Spence can do that.
No,
The
but there's a
only one
difference
out
though.
of
There's
that
a difference
47
though. I
pack
can
who
explain my
might have a
reasoning.
chance to go up and do
I
something
can
like
explain
that
my
is
reasoning.
Boots Ennis because he's already
No,
that's the
big.
only
let
one.
me. Okay, can I explain my reasoning?
Go ahead.
All right. This just has to do with styles and physical attributes. If Bud goes up to 154, Bud is just going to be a very, very small dude with a big 154 class. That's number one. And number two, stylistically, Bud does bad against somebody like a Jamel Charlo and things of the sort. He does bad against somebody like a Tony Harrison just because of the huge size advantage. But with that being said, if Earl
Tony
moves up,
Harrison box his socks off.
and hold on, can I say something else? And
Yeah, I'm sorry.
with Earl, at least for Earl, he'll be an average size 154 pounder. And stylistically, I think that Earl's way more disciplined and will just outbox dudes. I don't think he's gonna
Nah,
have
bro.
a
Come on,
crazy
man.
amount of
Nah,
power.
bro.
I don't think he's
Nah.
gonna have a
That
crazy amount of
nah.
power to knock dudes out
Nah.
or stuff like. I don't think he's gonna have that, but I do think he's gonna have enough pop and enough size to be able to
To
beat
sustain.
guys.
Nah.
To sustain.
I think so. That's my opinion. But again, because styles make fights. That's why
I
I
feel
think
like
he
he
will have
does
more
better
success.
at 54 than Bud, but his biggest attribute at 47 is his size.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
true.
true.
But I think that
Because
remember those guys at 154 aren't the most skilled guys, right?
But
they're all okay.
They
So
all
to
skilled,
be
bro.
honest, but Spence isn't the most skilled guy.
Exactly.
He's more skilled than 154 pounders.
No, he's not.
Then
Yes,
who?
he
No, he's
is.
not, man.
Who?
Yes, he is.
No,
I
he's
said then
not, bro.
who?
That nigga is
He's not
not
Which
more
that
one?
skilled than
athletic
Tell
as
me,
Tony
y'all
Which
Harrison.
think.
one then?
He's not
name
more
me one
skilled than
fighter.
Julian Williams.
Okay,
Who?
Who he
name
better
me.
than?
Okay, name me Jamel Charlo. He's better than
He's
Castano.
more
He's a
They
better
skilled than
train
boxer
Jamel
together,
than.
Charlo.
bro.
He's a better
Not by
boxer
a
than
lot though.
Castano. He's a better boxer than Jamel. He's a better boxer than Jared Hurd. Name me one. Name the only one you can maybe name me is Tony Harrison. That's it. Name
Erickson
me another one.
Lubin.
He can't beat Jared Hurd though.
Erickson Lubin?
Yeah.
No,
You
not
like
even
to
Erickson
say he
That'll
Lubin.
be hey homie.
fuck no he better than
That'll be
Erickson
a good
Lubin.
Yes,
fight.
he
Erickson
is.
Lubin.
No,
Old
he ain't been
I'm
Southpaw.
not
boxing
even
than Erickson Lubin.
listen. I'm not even trying to suck this man's Earl's dick, but I'm just have to think about this
I feel
logically. I
you.
think he does a decent job at 154. I don't think he does a good job at 160. I don't think he does, but I think he
Nah.
does a
He
decent
should have
job
if
at
he wanted to go to
154.
160, he should have been moved up.
Exactly. I don't think he's big enough for
Well,
160. But I'm
but
saying,
that's the thing. His car crash and the eye pretty much delayed those plans. So
yeah,
Yeah.
he's pretty much like about a year and a half behind schedule. So that's
true.
why they were trying to see about if they could still try to secure the fight with Terence Crawford
Yeah.
before moving up to
I,
154.
and that's what I'm saying, fellas. I think just with this coming up, I mean Crawford already froze out. So whatever they offer him, just go take it, go whoop him, get legacy out of this shit, man. Because that's the only logic I can see out of this, man. Getting free money, and then whatever they go, if they on that bullshit, all right, cool. Let's get this work in. That's how I would take it. But fuck it. I
Yeah.
just want to see the fight, man. I mean, all this.
I still
He
want to see the
deserved
fight. I
this, and he
still want to see. I'm on
deserved that
your side
shit,
about that.
man.
I'm on your
Fuck
side
that.
about that. I do want to see that fight still. I'm just like, listen, there's a lot of the times we want to talk about boxing on the internet and stuff like that. People want to talk about boxing and you want to be emotional or you want to be over analytical. The thing is, you really just gotta go in the middle because politics will deny you from seeing a fight you want to see. So
Yes,
the
sir.
stuff is not being over political. You're just being realistic, man.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm saying because you can't be sitting up here saying you want to see Lomachenko fight Tank and you know goddamn well Floyd and them ain't doing nothing right now. Like I mean, you just driving yourself crazy.
Facts. Yeah, that's
You know what I'm
facts.
saying? You driving yourself crazy. It's like you want to blame Tank. I guess you could blame Tank if you want, but you know that's not his doing like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know if they go in there tomorrow and say, if Floyd and them say tomorrow, yo, you got to fight Lomachenko, he's fitting to take whatever they say. You're not about to tell them he's not fighting them and all that. He's not even on that level.
Listen, you work with Floyd Mayweather, you work with Al Heyman. You work with Al Heyman, you work with Floyd Mayweather. We're one and the same. That's all we do here at Money Mayweather Promotions.
They
We
gotta do
work
what
together,
they
and
gotta
you
do what
know,
they say. That's just
I
some
like
real shit. He
you know,
do. He gotta do what they say. I don't care how they make it look.
I
Yeah.
like Tank. I like Tank. You know, he's a very talented fighter. You know what? I'll go. I'll go as much as say he's a hell of a fighter.
Ah!
But
The hands, the hands. You
you
gotta
know,
do it. That's
you know
his
what?
hands.
I'm not
That's
gonna
how
put
he
him in
make
there. I'm not gonna put him in there with Vasyl Lomachenko. I'm just not gonna do it.
it.
Who's
I mean,
that? Is
we
that
got
your
a long
Floyd
time. We
impression?
got a long time to develop. Lomachenko's old. We don't have to fight him. He has to find a fight. That's how Floyd was.
Hey,
Yeah.
fellas, I can't really get to the comments like I want. You know, it's a lot of comments and a lot of people want everybody, want to get their thoughts, man. Just hop on, man. I'm gonna just let y'all cook, man. Go ahead.
Hey, Boots does a great job at
Put
154
the
as
link in the
well.
chat.
Yo,
Yeah,
Y'all
that's
Fred,
say
that's
what
what?
what
up?
that's what I said. I
Say your
think out of
piece.
everybody at 47, just because of his youth and his size, man. Yeah, buddy gonna do good shit, man. He could possibly go up to
His youth
160.
and his size. Yeah, I think he does the best at 147.
Yeah, but
He got
he
to
still
sign to
got some shit he
somebody.
got to clean up a little bit. But he definitely do some damage.
Oh,
He
hey,
definitely
hey,
do some
don't say
damage.
nothing about Boots. Why Sam gonna get on your behind? Don't say nothing about Boots.
Oh nah,
No,
man, I
he
fuck with Boots, man. I fuck with Boots.
man,
Hey,
Boots got to
no,
He a
no,
sign to
I'm
little
saying,
somebody,
he
dog.
a
nah,
little
me
young
too,
man,
me
but
too.
like
But
I
why?
say,
That's
he a
why I said
phenom.
boy right there.
Hey, yo, I said, all right. So this is what we're gonna be honest. I am biased towards Philly fighters. Okay,
Oh
naturally.
yeah, yeah. You sound like you from Philly, homie.
Yeah, I'm a Philly dude. My
Yeah.
favorite fighter in Philly is named Salim Bey, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if we want to talk about who's the next Jerron Ennis, next floor, Salim Bey, yo.
Salim Bey, okay.
Salim Bey. Remember
He's
that
pretty
name.
good. He's pretty good.
Salim Bay.
Yeah,
More only
remember
thing
Pretty
that.
about
good.
Boots is can Boots take a shot?
That
Shout out to my
yeah,
guy, Super
yeah.
Sharp Sheen. You know,
Triple S is another bad
Yo,
motherfucker.
he one of my
yeah.
favorites, man. He got it. When he be on point, man. I really enjoy watching that kid box. I do. I like watching him box. Sheen. I
Boots,
like watching
Super
Boost
Sharp
box too.
Sheen, Paul
Yeah, I like
Crawl,
watching Boost box
Yeah,
too. But
Paul
Sheen,
Crawl, yeah.
I
and
like watching him box.
Philly, cool. You got Cool Boy,
Cool boy.
Not Fear Charles.
Yeah.
Like,
Cool boy, Steph.
Damn,
you
that's
got a
right. I
lot
gotta
of
call.
I'm gonna go on.
I
I'm
gotta
gonna
call
say this.
Freeway.
I'm gonna say this about him, right? Out of all of the young champions in boxing right now, he the most proven.
Who?
Cool Boy.
Scooter.
Yeah.
Scooter beat 9 undefeated fighters. He only got like 20 fights. Look how they matched him. He battle tested.
Yeah, buddy a rare breed, man. I love to
He
see him
battle
fight
tested.
anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
What's his
really
next
battle tested.
move? What's his next move?
Who? Fulton?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fulton, yeah.
Gonna
What
get
is
them
it?
belts, huh?
Defense against who's the former unified champ? Shoot.
Yeah,
My
They
boy,
said Anal
my boy,
Amir
moving up.
my
Daniel
boy Steph.
Roman.
They said Anal moving up though. He knew he.
No.
Yeah, he knew he.
Anyway, what? Yeah. Anyway, might yeah, he might move up, but who is it?
Ooh, guys.
Daniel Roman. I was
Yeah, I'm
thinking he
hearing
was
Daniel
going to fight
Roman.
him
Andy
Later,
Roman.
though.
because
Man,
Daniel
Man
Roman
from
is
Shakur.
they put him up at number one in WBC and WBO. So you know,
Yeah. My man Raiders said, "Hey, you better tell Cool Boy Steph to stay away from Shakur." Real talk. To be honest with y'all, Cool Boy ain't that small.
yeah.
Now, I wouldn't suggest moving up 2 weight classes to fight Shakur, but don't think that it's gonna go how Jamel Herring went. Mm-mm.
Oh
no
no,
way,
heck
bro.
no.
Not happening.
Definitely
Not
Nate
happening.
Nate Johnson.
No, and he
You
not that
capping tonight,
he
boy.
not as little of a dude
You
as you
capping
think.
tonight,
Not,
Nate Johnson.
He
it
do
threw
look
me
little.
off. He's not that small, yo.
Yeah, on TV it looked like, but he no, he a little bit bigger than you think.
You
That's
capping tonight, Nate Johnson.
Yeah, that'll be a
Yeah,
nice little
like
scrap.
but
That'd be a nice little
you
scrap.
don't like in terms of going up 2 weight classes. Like say like if Scooter was like up at 26 already and settled in at 26, and now you talking about 26 and 30,
yeah.
then I'm like I'm rocking with that. As big as a Scooter fan as I am, I don't want to see him go up 2 weight classes and fight somebody that's young like him and all that right now. I
Yeah,
don't want to
man.
see that. Like not even not. I mean, when it come down to somebody getting some money, I always want to see guys getting a good fight that's gonna get him some money. But I mean, young as he is, he's got like all of this. He got like the whole world ahead of him. Like they don't need to be putting neither one of them kids on them type of collision courses like that unless they're gonna be able to get it. Because honestly speaking, if Shakur got over on them and shit, they wouldn't really nod Shakur like that, and that would be a hard situation. They would be like, "Yo, you just fought a guy came up 2 weight classes. That's okay." Like, you know what I'm saying? So when it's like that, it don't even make no sense for both of them to be in no stuff like that. But
Put
I
him in
like
there
the
with
banter. I
Gary
like
Russell.
the of it. It's good. It's good for like publicity and stuff.
Put him in there with Gary Russell.
Gary Antoine Russell.
Put Shakur in there with Gary.
Oh, I think Shakur eat up Gary, bro. I
Oh,
ain't
I
gonna
don't
lie. That
know.
nigga been on the shelf for a while.
I
Hey,
don't know.
hey, hey, Duran, let me
I
ask you a
don't know.
question.
What's
You
up,
I
ever
bro?
hear
don't know.
Shakur
I
speak
don't
on
know.
Gary?
Antoine ain't nothing to play with.
Oh no,
Wait,
not Antoine. I'm talking about the
Oh,
big brother.
Shakur. Hey, I
Oh,
yeah,
think
You talking about
but
Shakur
140?
Shakur, Shakur really
Shakur would
speak on
whoop.
No, you
Gary.
talking
He
about
ain't that
130?
damn
no.
easy.
Talking about
Huh?
Shakur
126?
would whoop Gary. Shakur would whoop Gary.
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah. If
57
Gary
Gary
was to
Russell,
come
man.
up to 130,
no,
yeah.
All right.
no,
See, it's a little heated in the chat
They
right
got
now.
like
It's a little
57
heated.
Gary Russells out here right now.
no.
Yeah, Antoine can fight, man. Antoine
That
definitely
nigga
can
say
fight.
57 Gary Russell.
Yeah, trust
Yeah.
me.
Hey, but not Gary
Hey,
Russell got a tough
listen,
task with that guy. He
listen.
fighting his man though, man. That
There,
motherfucker
there's
big.
there's about a few guys that Shakur Stevenson kind of like gives
You
his
told him
props
250.
about, and Gary's one of those guys. Like everybody else, it seems like Shakur is like highly confident that he could take any of those guys, of Valdez's or Burchard or anyone that's at 130 currently or 126,
Mhm.
Navarrete. But when it comes to Gary Allen Russell Jr., uh,
I'm not
I
gonna
ain't gonna
say,
lie, bro.
hey, I'm not gonna
I
say
think
he's
he'll
gonna
take
lose
him,
this fight,
man.
but you better watch
I
out
think
because
he'll
Gary got
take
his
him.
hands full with his upcoming fight.
Say what?
Hey, listen.
He got his hands
I'm
full,
not.
so you better be careful.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
don't
was
know
just
about him
saying,
either.
man. He fighting that big ass dude from the Philippines.
Exactly. So
That's a
he
And
big
this
better be
dude's
ready
motherfucker,
for
slow,
his
man.
next fight because he
This
got his
dude's
hands
slow.
full.
He gonna get
This dude's
cooked.
slow.
Bro,
My man
I'm not
Jose
gonna lie.
said CBS
I'm not
spars
gonna
against
lie.
Luch. I was at that sparring session. That was good work.
The only thing that worried me about Gary is I know Gary ain't really been fighting. So it's like
Yeah.
when you ain't been fighting, you can say what you want, but like sometimes motherfuckers they we got tune-ups for a reason,
Yes, sir.
right? But outside of that, yo, when you talk about from like a talent level, like don't get it twisted why Gary don't get fights that he's supposed to get because he got enough name and notoriety. Whereas though if it was sweet, then you would have seen Gary fight a whole bunch of people. But you realize he ain't been in there. A lot of people ain't got in. Like for instance, Tank live in the DMV. Him and Gary should fight
They should have been fought.
because
Man,
when
Kevin
you
if
when
he
Jones,
was
you
Kevin
talk
fighting,
about
then
Jones,
Gary
DC,
Russell and
when you
facts.
talk
Tank.
about DC and
No,
Baltimore,
Kevin Jones
when you talk
never.
Kevin
about
Jones,
DC and Baltimore,
facts.
if they the
Whoa,
same
whoa,
size, they
whoa,
supposed to
whoa,
fight.
whoa, hold on. This guy's saying that Loma boxes his ears off. What fight were you watching? Number
Oh
one,
no, yeah, I
there's
don't agree
never.
with that.
Number one,
Loma won, but I
how do
don't
you
agree
say
with all
boxes
that.
his ears
I ain't
off?
going that far.
Loma got
How do
dropped
you
in
say
that
he
fight.
boxes his
Yeah,
ears off?
wasn't it a
He
Number
didn't
knockdown?
one,
count it. He got dropped.
they said it wasn't a unanimous decision. Number two, they didn't even count the knockdown that Russell scored on Lomachenko. And number three, he was pretty much getting with Lomachenko, especially in the second half of the fight.
Yeah,
And Gary said he
That's
was
real right.
dehydrated.
yeah, that's facts. They should have ran that shit back, man.
They definitely should have ran that
That'd
back.
be,
You know they should run it back.
I want to see. I still want to see it now.
So do I.
I don't
You know
know, man. I
what?
think Loma
And
might
I
be a
don't
little
know,
bit
bro.
too big for him. Unless
what was
what
it?
would they fight
Who
at?
was talking about Tank? Right? Someone was talking about Gary and Tank. I'm gonna tell you this right now from a business perspective, real rap. Gary versus Loma is an easier fight to make than Gary versus Tank.
Yeah.
Why?
But how when they on the same side of the street?
Gary got no side of the street.
Well, number one, Gary don't have a side of the street.
You
That's number
don't.
one. That's the thing that people don't know about Gary Russell Jr.
So
That's
what
number
happened?
one.
So then explain
Number
Devin
two,
Haney. Then explain
what's
Devin
that?
Haney. Explain what happened with the situation with Devin Haney.
That fight didn't
If you
happen.
ain't got a side of the
That
street.
fight
No,
didn't
I
happen
said
because
Gary has no
that
side
fight
of the
didn't
street.
happen because Devin Haney was locked in a contract with Yuriorkis Gamboa. That's number one. And number two, Bill Haney plain pretty much straight up admitted to Gary Russell Jr. that they didn't have the numbers for them to make a fight between him and Devin Haney.
That was a dumbass fight anyway.
So how much did he offer Gary?
1.5.
And Gary's not going to take
And
that.
they didn't even really have 1.5.
Wait,
That was the
they
thing that
offer
Bill
$1
Haney
million or
admitted.
1.5, Jay?
What's that?
I said, did they offer $1 million or 1.5?
They claimed that they were offering 1.5, but once they went up to Matchroom was saying no. Why? Because they already had the thing ready for Yuriorkis Gamboa.
Hey, Lennar, Gary Russell will make 1.5 against Kiko Martinez. You understand?
But is he not facing Devin Haney a champion?
No, listen to me. Guarantee you that he's going to make 1 to 1.5 fight Mark Maxell. So to
Gary
have
Russell?
him move up 2 weight classes to fight you. I'm a champion, you're a champion. Move up 2 weight classes to fight you. It definitely $1.5 million. You're not gonna get that fight detergent.
Yeah.
I'm fighting the third king. I'm fighting the third king.
And here's the thing, right? He's getting 1.5 to fight Kiko Martinez. Why would he try to go for the same thing against a Devin Haney? Or on top of that, a few years ago when they were talking about Gary Russell Jr. versus Leo Santa Cruz, they were pretty much offering out around that same figure.
But how much bigger of a star is
1.5.
how much bigger of a star is Haney than Gary though? I mean, no disrespect to Gary Russell, but
he's not a
Like,
bigger
what
star.
do we just see against
what?
the Haney JoJo
Devin
Diaz
Haney's not a
fight?
bigger star than Gary Russell Jr. Are you crazy?
Okay, all right. You've been to a Devin Haney fight?
Bro, come on. Why Sam? Are we having an argument right now?
Have you been to a Devin Haney?
No, I have not.
Okay. Have you watched the Devin Haney pay-per-view?
Yes.
No, because there hasn't been one.
Huh?
There's never been a Devin Haney pay-per-view.
Never been one.
But okay. So this just based off of the social media following and the gates.
That doesn't mean it transfers over though.
If you want to keep it a bean, right? You don't know a Devin Haney.
Somebody smoking on some
I've
good
been to
gas, huh?
Devin Haney fights. He's not selling out like that. They're on the same level.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking on some good gas, huh?
Shit, pass that shit, homie.
Word. Yeah, that's just serious, man.
I like Gary Russell Jr., but Gary Russell Jr. is I mean, what was his biggest? I don't know. I'm asking. What was his biggest gate?
I don't know. I've never bothered to look. I don't know.
We gotta. That shit gonna take 9-10 hours to get up there.
Devin, I've never seen a situation where Devin is selling out here, selling out there. I watched him.
They gotta fight Saturday.
What's the kid name that he won the interim from?
Who?
Devin in New York.
Oh, yeah. Damn, I was in
a Dominican Republic dude or something, or Puerto Rican dude?
No.
Gonzalez, I think, huh?
Nah, it wasn't like the Gonzalez guy.
It was on a Jake Paul undercard, right?
Abdullah. What was it? Abdullah or something like that?
Yeah, Abdullah.
Yeah, Abdullah. Zaire
He
Abdullah.
was on the undercard, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Andre versus Agricola.
No, that Abdullah card.
No, that was a Logan
was the
Paul
main event.
KSI.
But that was when they had the two women fighting.
Cool boy Steph versus Gary Russell. Who wins?
Shit.
I can't answer that.
So if you think I'm
everybody quiet.
I can't
Cool boy. That's a good fucking fight right there.
That's cool boy gonna take that, my boy.
I can't answer.
Oh man, that's a good fight.
50-50. I think they should have had that in the works, Steph and Gary Russell. That'd be a nice one.
Actually, you know what? If Cool Boy moved up, they probably could make that fight.
Nobody ever talks about that fight. That's a fight that could be made.
Hey, Brandon Figueroa.
Yeah, that could
Brandon
be made.
Figueroa, Gary Russell.
Gary Russell.
Gary
Russell
over Brandon.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
take a lot of shots, man. That nigga take a lot of shots.
yeah, he take a lot of
He take,
shots.
he
He's too
take,
slow. He don't really like you saw in this fight against Cool Boy, man. He really
Right.
don't set up a lot of his shots before he comes on the inside. So what you saw from Cool Boy, you're gonna see the same thing from Gary. All he got to do is just pick him off before Brandon gets himself started.
But is
Like
he gonna have
Cool
the
Boy
power though?
fought like the perfect fight against Brandon Figueroa. Like he was like he was first to the punch, and then once Brandon Figueroa got on the inside, he pretty much worked the same way that Figueroa did, and threw more telling punches.
Nah, you got some people
But
out here saying Brandon
that was a
Figueroa
close
got
fight, though.
robbed.
That was a hella close fight.
Some people said Brandon Figueroa got robbed though.
Nah, he didn't. I didn't see that.
Hell
Not
no,
when,
he ain't get robbed.
not when,
Hell no, he ain't
not
get.
when Fulton was clearly like beating him at a distance.
I think Brandon won 4
Nate
rounds.
Johnson, you been capping, boy. You been capping this whole chat.
Yeah, I think Brandon won. I think Brandon won 4 rounds. And if you was his grandmama, you could give him 5.
Only 4?
Grandmama.
You have to at least give him 5, fam.
Chris
Nah, yeah, his
Colbert
grandmother.
versus
His
Russell.
grandmother would give him 5. Yeah, his grandmother. Or his auntie.
Yeah,
Somebody that
yeah.
loves him. 5, you know what I mean? But everybody else should give him 4 rounds.
Ooh, wait, this is a good fight. Chris
Who that?
Colbert versus Gary Russell.
B-Hop.
That's
Only
Tracy
thing about
McGrady.
B-Hop is
You know,
how you get a name like B-Hop and you don't box like B-Hop and you not from Philly. I know.
Mm-hmm.
Colbert versus Russell. Russell.
I would like to see Colbert versus Cool Boy before Colbert versus Gary Russell.
Hey, this is a good one too right now. Just because Jerron Ennis versus Jamel. That'd be a good one, boy. That'd be fireworks.
Guess who?
No, he got to be
Jamel versus Boots.
first.
Huh? Yeah,
No, you
Jamel
can't
versus
just
Boots.
put
That'd be
Boots in the field.
fireworks.
Listen,
Hey,
I
Terry.
love Boots to death. How we just go put him versus the top 54 and they even give him a fight versus the top 47 yet?
I know. I
We
just
gotta
think
stop
that
doing that as boxing.
stylistically,
Like that's too far.
it is. But like, man, it'd be a good fight to see if Boots is
In the
what we think
future,
he is
like in
right
the
now.
future, Joe, yeah.
If he's what we think he is right now, man, that fight would be just bombs going off.
Wild Fulton is in the pound for pound list. Yeah, both undefeated champions. Yeah, number one, basically number one, number two. That's why I named Stephen Fulton as fighter of the year last year. You know, beat Angelo Leo and Brandon Figueroa. Two
Yeah.
Nah,
undefeated
Nate Johnson, I was
fighters
talking
back to
about your comments with your Dennis Ugas and Spence. That's what I was saying he was capping about.
Ugas is gonna shock the world again, baby.
Huh?
We're gonna do it again. Ugas gonna beat Spence, man. We're gonna shock the
Oh
world
yeah,
again.
Harry. I heard the same thing with Mikey Garcia. I heard the same thing with Danny Garcia.
Nah,
I heard
this
the
ain't
same
no
thing
little
over and
Mikey
over. But then
coming
what
up.
happened? He
This ain't no little
dominated.
Mikey coming up
Hey,
2 weight
T,
Yeah,
I
classes.
tried
Nah,
that.
this is
I tried
yeah.
that
Ugas.
ad,
This was going to
dude.
be a really
I'm helping you
difficult
out.
fight for Errol Spence, man. You know, Ugas' style is pretty. It's almost like who would I would say? Erislan Milar type, but with a little bit more pop. He got a little bit
Arizona
more pop.
Laura. He don't have the
We
legs of
all
Arizona
going
Laura.
together.
He ain't got the feet of Arizona Laura.
But he
This
got
might
the style though in the positioning. Like he could you know throw you off with a lot of the stuff that he does. So
we don't know what Earl's gonna show up, man. We gotta
A
hope he make it through
dominant
training
one.
camp.
Hey, T,
We gotta hope he's healthy.
the issue
You
is
know.
trying to edge you.
So I
How's your
just
Wi-Fi, bro?
and especially I think he's gonna do pretty good because he has his strength and condition as a strength and conditioning coach, which he's been lacking, which is gonna do wonders for him.
I don't even care about that. I'm just making sure he's healthy as far as like his eye. That's all I care about right now.
Yeah,
was
no,
it
for sure.
JC? I see JC's comment, man. That wow, that's kind of out there, man. You're saying Errol gets his first stoppage in 5 years versus Ugas if Spence is 100%.
That's the problem. Though. Spence ain't 100%.
He doesn't
Yep.
gotta be 100% to beat Lugas.
Okay, you
Well,
think
you don't
that?
have to be 100% to beat him, but Stop him?
Okay.
Stop. Yeah.
I didn't
Man, you
say
better
Be
stop him.
careful about just saying somebody could. You gotta be careful saying you ain't gotta be 100% to be Ugas though. You gotta be
Okay.
careful saying that.
I mean, I'm
Cause
not saying
Ugas, man,
when I
listen,
say that.
this about
I'm
to be
just
a
being
hard
honest.
fight,
I
yo.
mean,
I think this about to be a hard fight.
it might be a hard fight. It's a quote unquote. I'm not saying Ugas is a tune-up, but it's a hard tune-up that he needs.
Let me ask y'all this. How would y'all feel if Ugas beat Spence
Congratulations.
and
Yeah.
messed up everything? We know
He
no, I'm saying we
he
know the
said
fight gonna
it.
be hard for years. Would you
He wants to be undisputed, man. So he's saying, hey, he beats Spence, they can be first at the undisputed. You know,
Hey,
some people thought that he upset the apple cart.
hey, CJ, Ennis versus Russell 141 Olympic trials. They 3-2 in the amateurs. So
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
yeah, they 3-2 in the amateurs.
Um,
So I mean, he got him in the trials. I didn't feel like he won. I thought Boots edged it because he had cleaner work, and Gary he smothers his work at times, but one of them dudes is a 140 pounder, one is a blown up. Well, I'm sorry, a melted down. That little nigga is huge, yo.
one guy is like at 160, baby, going down to 147, and the other guy is at 140 pounds that could make 135.
Yo, all I'm gonna say is don't spar that dude. Don't spar him if he's not cutting weight.
And you know who's another good fighter who's really up and coming. I'm really messing with too. I know y'all know his name, Frank Martin.
I like
Yeah, he was pretty good. I saw him on
Go to sleep first.
when he beat
But we
Romero
just got
Duno
whatever God happened,
a
bro.
couple weeks ago.
Spurs on Friday too.
Yeah,
He look good.
he's a good young lightweight.
Yeah, I mean, but he's not really that young either. He's about 26.
But oh yeah. You're right. He is
So I
26.
mean, he has enough
Yeah,
time, but he needs to get it. He needs to get the ball rolling. I think he needs to get it.
he's what the same age as Tank is, right?
Huh?
He's the same age as Tank, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Gonna go on some runs.
So I think that he needs to get a title shot by
Oh
no later than the beginning of next year, man, because he's not a young dude, a young dude
yeah,
like that,
they're the same age, man. 27.
and yeah, hasn't even have a title yet. So he needs to have one within the next 3 or 4 fights, man.
Oh man, I don't know how long you got, Mill, but I got like another topic we might want to touch on.
All right, well, let me get to these comments real fast. I'm trying to bake my man T in, but it won't like load up. I don't know what's going on,
Yeah,
T. Um, YSM, you know Boots personally. Do you think if he fights Crawford and Spence, he'll be able to stop them or go the distance? He stops both of them.
YSM.
Lenard.
right.
What you want me
I
to
mean,
say? I tell you the same thing every time.
listen,
Consistently. He stops
you
both of
know,
them.
yo, Zab Judah said a long time ago, man, you don't play boxing. And the thing is, man, Boots Ennis does not play boxing. He lives it. He lives it every single day. Like this is me, going up to the
You're gonna
dungeon,
never get the money from Freaker yet.
what was it last year, and seeing him come in there, and he'll do work, for himself. He'll be out there, helping fighters out,
Want to say it again?
all that type of stuff. He does not play
Nate, that's a
boxing.
good fight. Nate,
You
that's a good
know,
fight. Yeah.
yeah, that is a good fight.
Oh, JR, I got one for you. They just brought it up. Frank Martin versus Raya.
Ooh,
Right? Or I'm
that'd be good.
Ooh, I
That'd be
like that
good.
one.
I
I
like that.
like that one.
I like that.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
you,
that's right. Yeah, I did see that. Some
and,
people did bring that up.
and
That's a good
See what
one.
I'm saying?
you know who else impressed me lately? And what's his name? His last
8 and
name is
some
Love.
change +3.
Montana Love.
Plus
Montana
11
Love. Yes, sir.
Um,
plus Breaker.
I think
That's like 300,
didn't he
right?
have? I think he was having like issues trying to,
Huh?
keep his weight though, from what I was hearing. But I don't
Go
know.
up.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Go up.
Rizzo's talking about Jared Anderson. Yeah, I mean he's we got to see what he's gonna do with Jay Prince. You know, he's over in Houston with Jay Prince now. I know that
He still
you know
gonna
his
pay
main
somebody to
trainer,
come put some lean weight
Coach
classes.
Derry, you know, has brought him up since 8 years old. But yeah, they're
He's
trying
gonna
to
be
make
one.
some moves there with Jared Anderson. So we'll see him in something pretty soon. You might see him in the fight in March. I gotta catch up with Coach
Who?
Derry to see
Jared Anderson, he
Jared
Oh,
Anderson.
okay.
he always like yo, my man JR boxing shorts, man. A lot of great interviews. He's had Bo Mack on, Jared Anderson, like you name it. He didn't have him on. Really, really underrated channel. Don't get enough love, yo.
Well, Coach Derry said a month ago that Jared might be in a fight in February, but I don't know. Probably might be in March. But I'll catch up with him now.
I want to see Jared Anderson versus Frank Sanchez.
Ooh, I'm picking
Ooh,
Jared.
That's for
yeah,
the future. It's for the
yeah,
future.
I'm on some
yeah,
Toledo. I'm riding with Toledo and Jared. And
yeah.
I like Jared. I liked watching Jared in the amateurs. I was watching him. He was fucking people up. At the U.S. Nationals, I was watching him fuck people up. Like, that's one thing about the U.S. that watching him and watching our teeth bull, I knew it was about to happen.
What was what's his
What's up, Connor Ben? Yeah.
pretty boy Calvo?
I want to
Oh
see
yeah. No, listen, our teeth in the amateurs, bro.
Cody Crump.
Our
Yeah.
teeth a terrorist, bro. He was a terrorist down
Hey,
there, bro.
YSM.
Word.
Since you have the inside scoop on the Philly fighters,
Well,
is
wait,
do,
stop, stop,
it?
stop, stop,
Huh?
stop, stop. I don't. You actually talking to a trainer for the last hour, and probably didn't even realize it.
Who's the
Word.
trainer?
Man, why you
Right?
say something?
Yeah, you got two of them.
What?
Oh, who's the
Nah,
trainer,
man.
man?
Let's keep talking regular. I like when they don't know
All
that
right,
shit.
all
They
right,
get to
all right,
talk
okay.
regular because they
All
don't
right,
like
Who's
so,
the
straight.
trainer? Hey, who's that
all
trainer, man?
right, man. All right, man. Put it like this. Put it
Damn.
like this. How I got on, the two dudes that was on the chat, they vouched for me. That's how I got on.
Wait, who? The guys on the chat right now?
One left earlier. One, basically you're talking to people. One person took me on my first outing at a fight, and the other person basically stamped me to go around to the other gym, to the gyms, basically.
Oh, okay. Shit, what's up? Snap me.
Oh man, yo, you know something, man? Honestly, the neighborhood, this area needed somebody like YSL. We needed you, Mill. We ain't have nobody. There's a lot of guys around here could fight. It's guys around here got charisma and all of that stuff, but we just didn't have no camera. And I was just looking at the guys out in Vegas and California. And I was like looking at Ellie, and I was looking at Dante at the time, and then I was looking at like T Street at the time. But like T doesn't talk to fighters. He don't hit gyms, none of that. He be in his basement doing his thing. Now I'm saying we needed somebody in this neighborhood, you know what I mean, to look at the kids, talk it, you know what I mean, show the kids, show the upcoming talent, show the fighters, the ones that are active, the young ones, the older ones, all of that, man. That shit is important, bro. I'm saying you and it's a guy on the ropes down in the DMV. I was happy when you two guys came along. Being honest, just being the East Coast guy, I was happy when you two guys came along.
Oh, okay. That's nice. That was nice. Nice words you got from him, man. I was gonna say why Sam, is Boots. He's such a big 147 pounder. Does he have a trouble time making weight?
No,
No, that's
freak
a
of nature,
disciplined
bro.
kid. Yo, see
But
Boots.
I just told you,
Yeah.
Boots Ennis does not play boxing. This is him
No, they not. No,
every
no. Yeah, ain't no. He don't slack, bro.
day. Every day.
Yeah, they not. They not them kind of like Boots is one of these new kids like Devin Haney. Boots. My son's gonna be the same way. They fighters through and through. They not street guys that turn that we found that knew how to fight. We taught them how to box and all. That's not what they are. They're raised from a baby to be a fighter.
Yep.
It's just the truth.
Like Bozy raised him and his brothers to be fighters like
Right.
that. And Bozy himself still,
And
has
then
that.
when you got two brothers, when you had two sons older, like that's the advantage he got on me because he already had Pooh and Farah. So like like the third time would be the charm and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? Then Mr. Bozy is like he's a teacher. He's a teacher of the sport. So
Yeah.
Boots is around a lot of knowledge. He got his brothers. He got his father. That kid, man, sky's the limit, yo. And then the way he carries himself, like you can't really teach that. And when you see a kid that has that in any sport, it usually amounts to good fortune. You look, he has one of them disciplines, like one of them Kobe Bryant type disciplines or some shit like that.
Mr. Miyagi.
One of them Floyd type of discipline. No, like one of them people that just do what they do a lot. Like you know how like some guys are just like that. It's guys that are good at their shit. Like I'll say, like the best way I could compare it is like Allen Iverson to Floyd. I mean to Allen Iverson to Kobe.
Yeah.
Iverson's good. Kobe shot that shit 1,500 times. You see what I'm saying? Iverson's talent. Like I'm not saying he didn't practice, but Kobe just practiced a whole. But that Boots fits
Yeah,
that
yeah.
mold.
I was just
Hey,
asking
Lenore.
because Boots is
Hey,
one of my
hey,
favorite up and coming fighters. I was wondering, cause he's just so big though. I'm surprised he's making 147.
hey, Lenore. This is the well. First, thank you for the kind words.
Oh
I,
man,
I appreciate everything you did for me.
man, shit,
Um,
true.
Lenore. This is why I say that Boots is going to stop Crawford and Spence. Right? I think Spence is good. I think Crawford is good. Um, Crawford likes to fight too much, and the advantages that he has over Spence, he doesn't have over Boots. There's nothing that Terence Crawford does in a boxing ring, physically. Now, if you want to tell me more experience, he got more experience over Boots, but he's not faster, he's not taller, he's not longer, he's not stronger. He doesn't switch better. There is nothing that he can throw at Boots. Nothing. There's some things that he can throw at Spence
He
that
might
could
he
make the
might be he
fight.
might be maybe slightly faster, a
Listen
tad
to
of
me,
hair, maybe.
Lenore, no. No, Lenore.
I don't think Terence Crawford faster than Boots.
No. I seen him in there
I'm thinking
with a
about it, but
unified 122. A unified 122. He was faster than him.
this is what I will say that Terence Crawford got. If he got anything, and I'm a Boots guy, but if Terence Crawford got anything, he got this thing you can't teach. Whereas though, like, if you raise the stakes, he just raised them too. He's the kind of guy that'll come in there and decide I'm gonna fuck you up, and like you're gonna have to kill him for that not to wind up being true. I think Boots has the ability to possibly kill him though. See what I'm saying? But you're gonna have to. Don't get it fucked up. He has to be killed. He's not accepting no shit. He's not about to accept you bigger and better. He's not about to none of that. If you whooping on his ass, he about to take that shit to another level, and you're gonna have to deal with that out of that guy. You know what I'm
Yeah,
I
saying?
know
And
you
that's
get.
what
I know what
Yeah,
you're talking
I
you
about.
think
gotta give him that. You gotta give him that anytime you talk about him in a high stakes situation or in any fight, period, because that's just the kind of spirit he has as a man.
yeah, yeah, you're gonna have to prove it to him and really prove it to
Yeah, he not let.
But
Yeah,
But
I
this is
mean,
the problem with
we've
Spence,
seen,
though, Jay. This is the
yeah,
problem with Spence. Lenore, you love Spence. Spence is your dude. While
Mhm.
Spence is with Yellow Beezy in the club, and I ain't gonna make jokes about all that other shit, but while Spence is with Yellow Beezy in the club, Boots is training fighters. That's what he does in his
yeah.
downtime.
That
You
like
talking
when
about
I was talking
somebody
about when I was
that's
talking about
living
Rasheed
this shit.
Jefferson, like he's out there, training Rasheed Jefferson and other young cats there in Philly.
hey, listen. You know the story I heard about Boots. This true, right? Look. This and three people told me this, right? Well, not his last fight or the fight before his last fight, right? He comes back from the fight Monday. Shit goes down Saturday, right? He comes back Monday. He's dressed in Dior. He goes to the gym. He's not supposed to do nothing, right? He's dressed in Dior, right?
Yep,
Takes the shirt off, got the sneaks on and the jeans. He doing pad work. Can't
yep.
help himself.
Yep.
That's who he is.
It-
That's the best way I could describe Boots to you right now.
That's him. Like I mean,
Listen, I love Boots. I don't want to see Spencer Boots fight because Boots got the potential to be one of my favorite boxers in the sport. Him, Devin Haney, and stuff. So I don't want to see them fight.
I
But
respect that. I know what you
yeah,
mean. Like on some fan shit, I know what you mean because I be like that. So like when I
no,
like I don't want to see Cool Boy fight no damn Shakur Stevenson.
yeah, I don't
I
want to
like
see
both
it.
of them.
like
I don't want to see that. Later I would though. If like I said,
I'm,
if Scooter was at 126, but I don't want to see that because I like him. Both of
It,
them though.
it's
I'm gonna
it's
ask I'm gonna ask
it,
y'all a question.
yeah.
When it comes to like other fighters that are out there, fighting right now, have you ever heard those fighters like universally co-sign a fighter? Like I've heard pretty much every fighter that I've come across co-sign Boots, and I'm talking about fighters in all weight classes. They all co-sign.
I heard the same thing about Spence before he got in the car wreck and stuff. I heard everybody co-signing him.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Because he was
Yep.
whooping everybody's ass in the gym.
so
Everybody
that's what
co-sign
we're
Spence.
getting here with Vince, man.
Huh?
Uh-oh. What Kevin asked? He said, ask who wins, Kroll or Ortiz if you had to put money on it.
Paul Kroll?
Roller. Who?
Kroll
I
or
think he said
Salute?
Virgil
I
Ortiz
guess
and Paul
Virgil.
Kroll.
Bro. We'll see.
Probably Virgil. Probably Virgil at this point.
Who?
We'll see.
And Paul
Who?
Kroll.
Virgil over Paul? No,
We'll see.
Paul will get Virgil.
We'll see.
We'll see. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't think
Paul will get
you know.
Virgil.
I'm not too hot on Virgil Ortiz for some reason.
I'm not
Paul,
either.
Paul got too many dimensions.
I'm not. You know hot on him either.
Paul can switch. Paul got a lot of dimensions, and when you want to get,
you're not hot on Virgil either.
He's a dirty motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's his problem.
Me either. I'm not too hot on him.
Paul will get nasty with you. He'll box you and then get nasty with you at the same time.
And you know who I love to see fight, and it's just so funny, is Antoine Russell, man. I love to see that the guy fight, man, because he fights like he has to pay his rent.
Facts.
Yeah.
Like rent is due tomorrow. I got to get this shit paid. By any means necessary, I'm gonna win this fight.
Yeah.
Listen, Antoine is a great young kid, man. Great young kid. And there are a lot of people that think he is probably the most talented out of the, three Russells, even more than Mr. Gary Allen Russell Jr. It's just
I heard the oldest brother was the best though, Jack.
Yeah. Like, the big, who's the big Russell now? But yeah, I've heard he was the most talented out of all of them. But as professionals now, I think Antoine got the goods to really, and I think he's going to be the one that's going to end up fighting Tank, not Gary Allen Jr., but Gary Antoine.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Tank would be crazy if you fight him.
Nah, that's better for Tank.
What? Antoine? Really?
Listen, hear me out. Just hear me out first. The younger one better for Tank because the younger one don't got big bro over Tank. You gotta understand they all live in the same area.
Hey,
right? So listen to what I'm saying. Say like, let me put it like this, Mill. My son could fight his ass off, right? So say like if it's like 8 years from now, 9 years from now, 5 years from now, Salim would be 19, right? 9 years from now, he'll be about 24, right? Say if they say he was about to fight Fulton, what would you think? See what I mean? It's like, even if you thought at the time, like, yo, Salim could get over on Fulton, like, he's that good at this point, but you like, yo, that's like big bro. Like, I don't know, like, because psychologically, I don't know what's up with that. Like, that's why, and that's the reason why I think you never seen Tank versus the other Gary Russell. Like, I think the reason why, because I think motherfuckers is like, if I was Calvin, I would be like, nah, man, I don't, you know what? They're going to have to make this like a big pot. I'll fuck with it, but I mean, y'all going to break me off.
Gary Jr.?
Yeah, because I got to get, there's a lot of shit
I'll tell you off air.
Man, you know. But look, I'm just saying, period. The younger one, it's like, yo, like Tank, like you the one that's more experienced. You the one that been around the block, and so you got the experience and the been in championship fights and all that. You got all of that type of shit on your side versus that one. Versus the other one that fought around the world and shit. Like, I don't know. I would rather put him versus the younger one than the older one. If I was Calvin in them.
Hey, Radish for life. Bro, I appreciate you, man. I would love to have Bernie and Blu-ray on. I wouldn't even say nothing. I just
that should be funny.
Oh shit.
I'll let them
them too. Oh,
said Kroll could have custom model.
Hey.
Ortiz beats him easy. Nah, bro. Nah, but you'll find out.
Hey, yo. What's your name? Kevin Jones?
Yeah.
Where's see Kevin Jones? I'm gonna remember you.
Antonio Russell needs more seasoning.
He said Bernie.
He struggled a lot his last fight. The funny thing is, Antonio Russell is facing the better of the opposition as far as with him and Antonio. I think
It's
they're gonna try to
his
put
one, yeah.
Antonio in a fight soon, like a real probably a
Yeah,
title.
he had the previous fight that he had where it was like a head clash in the first round. That was supposed to be, I guess, the fight that could have really put him in position to,
Ooh,
fight for a world title. But it
ooh.
kind of like turned out that way, no contest. His next fight, he was going up against somebody that was, teetering up and down in the weight class. It was real difficult for him. It was, pretty much like his second fight after losing his brother Boozer, and Big Gary Senior wasn't there because he was still dealing with his health issues, and he recently got his foot amputated. So all you had was Gary Allen and Big Gary as the trainers there on that side. So
Hey Jay,
Ooh,
can I say something real
ooh,
fast? Right, yo,
ooh.
you ever notice that when a dude is on, they always bring up the amateurs? Like in Lennar, I'm gonna make a point, right? My man, his grace says Gary gave Boots and this much work in the L, right? And he says Gary, he has Antoine has the blueprint. Okay, so by you saying that, that means Ugas has the blueprint to beat Bud. Castano has the blueprint to beat Spence
yeah,
because he
Hell
beat him.
no.
He beat him. That's the logic, right? Because you beat somebody in the
Those
amateur.
logic. I mean,
Danny Garcia
I
beat
guess
Bud.
they,
Danny Garcia got the
they're carrying
blueprint to
that
beat
stuff
Bud, right?
from a long time ago, like when Vernon Forrest beat Shane Mosley in amateurs.
Henry Tillman beat Mike.
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh, who was it?
wait,
Oh
wait.
man, I had another one. Who was
This
it?
one what?
Gonzalez.
Joel Porter got the blueprint to beat Demetrius Andrade and Alexander Usyk, right?
And
He beat
Alexander
Usyk.
Usyk, right?
He
Yeah.
did.
But here's
He did. He
here's
beat
another
Usyk.
one, right?
With that same
Um,
with that same logic, bro. You said
Jorge
he said that fight
Luis
was not
Gonzalez.
that long ago. That fight was literally what 5 years ago, 4 or 5
Jorge
years ago.
Luis Gonzalez beat Riddick Bowe in the amateurs. What happened in the pros?
Bro,
Shit.
Like,
can I explain
Ryan
one thing?
Garcia got the blueprint to beat Devin Haney.
yeah,
Can I explain something about how that go though? Listen,
go ahead.
first of all, it's a 3-round fight to a 10 to 12 round fight, right? So if you talk about fighting the Russells, right? Look how fast and shit they are. You know how hard it is to beat somebody like that in 3 rounds, bro? But you know how hard it is to beat a guy like Boots over 10 rounds?
Yeah,
All of this
because
shit
they have a
changed,
quick
man.
start. They
It
start off quick.
changed. Like, not even just faster fighters. And the majority of the time, faster fighters got the drop on you in this amateur shit, bro. They really
That's
do. Like
probably
the fast
explains
ones,
why. Because
the fast ones, bro,
Castano's fights hella fast, quick. He starts off quick. Castano.
and the real busy guys like the go, like, all right, say like the guys that got like the best way I could put it, like a Maidana kind of style. Those kind of them guys, they do kind of good too, especially early. Now, once you get to like the when they get like 15, 16, all that, they start giving them 2 minutes. Then that the Maidana guy, he start to lose kind of, but then every guy that's an outboxer can't beat them ones. Cause some guys be outboxers, but they'll get their ass whooped by these Maidanas and the Jojo Diaz's and them and like, stuff like that. Not to mention, a lot of the guys you look at like that, they're better boxers than you actually think. You just see them doing what they feel is effective for them. But if you put them in a situation where they had to box, you would probably find out that they could box better than you think. Like Sean Porter could box better than you think.
Sean
Guys
Porter.
like that, they better boxers than you think. When people think that motherfuckers gonna whoop Jojo Diaz ass, a guy like that, that shit ain't about to go how you think. You could win, but this shit just not about to go how you think. And you better watch the outboxer you put, because if his back foot game ain't like that, I got Jojo busting his ass. Gotta be careful. Case in point, you see when Jojo fought Tevin?
Yeah.
Experience was on Jojo's side. Tevin, a hell of an outboxer.
Yeah,
But Jojo been fighting outboxers since he was a kid in the amateurs, the best of them around the United States.
Yeah. I underestimated JoJo in that fight. Real fast, we had somebody joining the panel, Huntsville, Alabama.
Huntsville, Alabama. God.
Yeah. Huntsville, Alabama. What's up, guys?
Huntsville, what's good with you, baby?
Yeah, this is my second time on, man. I saw the
Yeah, I
title.
remember you, man. What's up?
I saw the title, man. And I just had
Yeah,
to tune
he's
in.
suing Bob, man.
Yeah, he's so Bob.
Hey, man. In the words of LeBron James, it's about damn time, man.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean. Oh goodness.
Tell him how
It's
you
not a
feel,
lot.
OG.
It's not a lot of money, but it's the principle, the way they explained it, of why the lawsuit's going down. Uh, Bob Arum, I know he used to promote. I'm old school. I'm 60 years old. So Bob Arum used to promote Ali, Hagler and everything. But just like Donald Trump used to hang around with blacks, and he does it now. Those kind of people change over time, man.
mm,
And he has been partial to the white
Huh?
fighters. Uh, I'm talking about Bob Arum. He has been partial to the white fighters.
mm.
He promotes them. He seems more comfortable with them, and he makes an effort. And he never
True.
made an effort with Bud, you know. So and yeah, Spencer's ducking.
Can I go ask a question, OG, in
Yeah,
reference to what you said about the Bud thing and the Bob Arum thing, right? Because
yeah.
I feel you, but look, what black fighter did Bob Arum really promote that well?
I I, I mean, you're talking about now or then?
Maybe I mean, okay, I'm gonna say he did good with Sugar Ray Leonard,
He
but
did.
after
I
Sugar
was
Ray
going to
Leonard,
say he did good with Ray Leonard.
yeah,
That was a
after
good
Ray
one.
Leonard, right? Which one of them did he promote like well?
Well, I mean, when you mention Ray Leonard, do you have to mention anyone else?
Oh
Nah,
my God.
my point is, but that was like 30 years ago though. So what I'm
I,
saying
I,
is,
I was I was making that point initially. You didn't you
no,
that was
look,
my.
look, look. No, don't get mad at my question. No, look, because I'm
I'm
riding
not
with
getting
you.
mad, brother.
I'm saying, all right, look, all right. So we misunderstood each other a little bit. The reason why I'm asking that is because I'm saying, like, is it because of racism or is this something that he's been failing to do recently?
No, I explained the psychology that over time, these people, just like you can get better over time with age, you can get worse over time with age. And
Oh,
so you can have an affinity for certain fighters in your later years than you had in your younger years.
mm,
And boxing is not as popular, I admit, because I don't know how old y'all are, but one of the biggest fights of all time was what? Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, right? The first fight.
okay.
Yeah.
That was on a Monday night. That tells you how popular boxing was.
Mm,
You said what?
Hagler Hearns, Hagler Hearns, that 3 round slugfest, that was on a Monday night, tax day, April 15th,
mm.
1985. Boxing is not that popular anymore. Uh, and so Bob doesn't think the black fighters can make money.
Now
Right.
look, I did
And that's a
what I
racial
could.
bias. That is a racial bias. That's a textbook definition of a racial bias.
Look, I did what I could with Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, and marvelous Marvin Hagler. But with guys like Shane Mosley, Floyd Mayweather, and others, I just couldn't do what I did back then. So I had to make adjustments. I went ahead and I had Oscar De La Hoya. Now that guy was a very successful guy, you know, and
Salute to
I
you, Leon.
rode
I
Oscar De
think
La
that's why
Hoya
Bob act like that
as
though.
far as I could.
I listen. I think because of Oscar and Chavez, I think after the Oscar Chavez shit, and they seen how the Mexican fan base was buying that shit up like that, the whole game been kind of targeting like the Mexican fan base, boxing period. It just now started targeting the white fan base again when they try to do this Eastern European thing. So it's like, if you really think about it, outside of like Roy Jones, Floyd, and Mike Tyson, like they was trying to pump that whole thing. So I'm just saying, like when I be talking about it. it's not that I don't understand where y'all coming from when y'all bring the race, and I'm not saying y'all tripping at all. Like I get it, but I'm saying like, is it that, or did they decide that the formula was to cater towards these people because this group of people was going to buy the fights? And sometimes I feel like
Both,
it's more so that than it is actual, like
both,
on a
both.
racism tip, like like I don't want no black guy to get this and that. I just think that like they got to the point where they was feeling like target the Mexican fan base, target the
Okay,
Mexican holidays, target like this is just what they've been doing, kind of. And it
okay,
ain't just one of them doing it. They are even Floyd was doing it.
okay. But it's both.
Eh,
Let me say why in Bob's case. Bob put his fighters on ESPN before he started going toward the pay-per-view. So Bob already had the ad dollars to supplement his boxing matches. So Bob didn't really have to do a lot of promoting except on the Disney Channel, which owns ESPN.
Uh huh.
So the other ones like Floyd and PBC may have needed the pay-per-view, but Bob had the monster. Bob had the mothership behind him.
When was that
So
deal
who's your favorite
secured?
fighter? OG
Who's my favorite fighter right now?
all time.
All time. Oh man, come on, man. Is that a trick question, Ali?
Ray
Ali.
Robinson,
Okay, and
Ali.
why is it
Okay.
Ali?
Huh?
Why?
Why isn't it?
Mm.
Oh man, look, man, I'm the greatest. I'm so pretty, and I'm beat all those guys: Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Ken Norton. Look, I'm too fast. They ain't had no chance. They couldn't do
So do you
anything.
think
Overdose.
Ali is the greatest boxer of all time, or he's just your favorite boxer of all time?
I think both.
So you think Muhammad Ali is the greatest boxer of all time?
Yes.
He might
And
be
can
the
you?
greatest, but the greatest and the best is two different things. Are you asking him is he the best?
I asked him, do you think he's the best boxer of all? I
No,
mean,
you asked
best.
him.
You think he's
No,
the
you
You
best?
said
asked
the
him.
greatest.
You said.
Excuse me.
You
I'm
asked. You
sorry.
said the
I
greatest.
thought they were
Bernard.
synonymous. The best.
Uh,
No.
and my answer was both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's not.
I can respect
And
that.
why is that?
Because uh, Ali in his prime, and I'm only speaking of in his primes. Uh, Ali in his prime was unbeatable.
I agree.
He was unbeatable.
Ain't nobody beating Cassius
I,
Clay.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was unbeatable.
Can,
I'm
any,
giving it to you.
can anybody beat Roy Jones in his prime, OG?
Hell
No,
no.
Not Roy. Now.
I
no.
love you now. All right, now we good now, baby. We
Hell no.
good. We good. That's all all right. I
Okay.
just had to ask. We
I,
good.
check this
Okay.
out. Check this out. Check this out.
So
I'm gonna give you a name that also in his prime was unbeatable, and this may
who?
come off. Larry Holmes was unbeatable in his prime.
Ooh, I'm rocking with
In his
OG.
Ooh.
prime. In his
I'm
prime.
rocking with OG.
I love
I'm
Larry
rocking
Holmes.
with you.
Late
Yeah.
I'm rocking with
70s,
you, baby.
late 70s, early 80s, he was unbeatable.
They
Ken
listen. That jab was
Larry
crazy.
Holmes.
That job was
Larry
something else.
Holmes is the most underrated heavyweight of all time.
Listen, Ken Norton even said that when he was color commentating one of Holmes' fights. Ken Norton said, and this was after Holmes had beat him for the title. Ken
I
Norton said Holmes doesn't have a lot of incentive because he's so much better than everybody else.
Everybody else at that time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
was.
was that much better. You
Nah,
know.
he really was unbeatable. Like when he was on this joint.
yeah,
Like
Um.
I definitely agree. I'm a young dude, so but I still kind of study my boxing. I definitely agree with that comment about Larry Holmes. I mean, his
Oh
job was a
man,
thing of
what is
beauty.
the fight that I'm looking at? Damn, it wasn't.
But Muhammad Ali being the best, I got to debate about that.
Okay, who would beat Muhammad Ali at heavyweight in the 60s?
Okay, all right. Well, let me not say that. Let me yeah, cause you where you frame it. Let me frame it like this. I think that on my pound for pound list, I would not put Ali number one.
Well, heavyweights don't do pound for pound, brother. That's why they created pound for
he
pound to
right.
begin with.
He's right
But hold
again.
on, hold
He's
on,
right
and I know
again.
that. I understand that. I
No,
understand that,
you
but
didn't
does that mean
understand that, or you
No,
wouldn't
we're
have
gonna
because you
been.
can't bring
exclude
him
that?
up in pound for pound. That's not
Yeah,
fair.
he can't.
So,
That's not fair.
wait a minute. But did you not make the comment that he was the best fighter of all time?
Right, but I didn't say pound for pound. You did.
I didn't say that. I'm saying this. I'm just asking you who you think is the best fighter of
Hey,
all
look, no,
time, and
who
you
are
say
you putting
Muhammad
on the
Ali,
top of the
correct?
list? You got somebody you want to put.
Who
Who
you
you
want to
putting
put
on top of
past
the list?
Ali?
Floyd Mayweather.
No way.
Hell yeah.
No.
And let me tell you why.
Go
Sugar
ahead.
Ray Leonard would destroy Floyd Mayweather.
I don't know.
Oh, you know what's so funny
That's
about that?
hard.
But
I don't know.
hold on, but Floyd Mayweather is not even a natural 147 pounder, and the
Okay,
fact that
No,
you would
I don't
compare,
even. No, hold on. You ain't got to do that. I don't know
Don't do
about
that.
that one,
Don't do
OG.
that. Don't do
And
that.
I'm not
he's
against your
not,
Ali
but
stance.
he's
But I
not.
don't know
And
about Sugar Ray Leonard destroying no Floyd. I don't know about that.
Okay. Well, let me put it this way: Thomas Hearns at 6'2", 147. Floyd would not take that right hand well.
I
no,
agree.
he would have
Mm,
it.
You already know how I feel
How many
about that
champions? So who
matchup.
beat more champions? Who beat? I'm just saying, who beat more Hall of Famers?
Wait,
Floyd or
stop.
Muhammad Ali?
When
Huh?
when they say who beat more champions, first off, you got to understand they went from a 2-belt era, a 1-belt era to a 4-belt era. So
yeah,
you
that's
can't say
hard.
who beat more
You
champions.
can't say that.
You can't say
And
that.
Muhammad Ali for everybody.
Cassius,
I said Hall of Famers.
Muhammad Ali has better wins than Floyd Mayweather has. It's not even close.
Not overall. No, he
Lennar,
don't.
Yes, he does.
Nah.
I think you need to do your homework before you even.
Let's run it up.
I
He
know.
has
Listen,
better
I know
wins.
who Muhammad
It's
Ali
not
beat.
close.
I don't know if it's not
Okay, but
close,
see,
but
this is the
I
thing,
would give
though.
him the nod. I
You're
would give him
living
the
in
nod.
that. This is my opinion here. I feel like a lot of people they have like a black and white bias just because as an older fighter, they're much greater than
No,
what they are.
no,
And
no.
with that being said, I think Muhammad Ali's one of the best, but he's not the best.
Right,
And when you
Lennar, what 2 wins does Floyd Mayweather have that's better than Sonny Liston and George Foreman when Ali fought him? Go.
okay, Manny Pacquiao, cool.
I'm done, yo.
No,
But what you mean, bro?
I don't know
So
how you
hold
set off for Manny
no,
though.
So you about
no,
to
How you
walk
set
away
off for
from the
Manny? I
camera
was
because
waiting
I
to see
said
what
yeah,
the
Manny
other person
Pacquiao.
was going. Hold on.
no.
Can I say something? Can I say one thing? Can I say
Go
one
ahead.
thing? Jamil,
Yeah, run
hold on,
that.
Jamil. Hold on. Let's put it in perspective. I think Manny is fair. I wanted to see who the other person was. So who
I'm gonna
else?
break
How
that
low was
down.
Manny? How low was Manny when Floyd fought him?
You can't,
How was
bro.
okay?
Manny
Manny was
Pacquiao spun around and
36.
beat Keith Thurman
38,
after
excuse
that.
me.
Hold on. No, don't do that. Manny Pacquiao spun around and beat Keith Thurman after that.
How good is
Manny
Keith?
Pacquiao is one of the great. Hold on.
How good is
Manny
Keith?
Pacquiao is the top 5, the top 10 welterweight of all time.
True.
So
Yes.
you
I'm
can't
saying.
say. So when you
Wait,
say,
wait.
so hold on, listen.
What was Sonny Liston and George Foreman when Ali fought him?
Listen. By the
What
time
were they?
Canelo get done, Canelo will be done surpass Sonny Liston. So you
Exactly.
got to be careful when you go like that. You do, out of all due respect. Now, I'm not saying I would say Canelo, like at the time when Canelo fought Floyd, he was like 23, 24 years old. So you could get tomato with that if you want. But I'm saying that it was fair to put Manny in that. But who was the second person? Like, who was you going to say? Like, Oscar De La Hoya?
Can I answer it?
Yes.
I was gonna, like you brought it up, I was gonna say Canelo, but Canelo's not done with his career yet because I think he's still gonna accomplish more great things. But it's
You know who I would compare though? Hold on,
but
listen.
if you're
What
talking
about
about
Corrales?
if you're talking about retired fighters, if you're talking about
Time out.
retired fighters when they fought him, then I'll probably say like Miguel Cotto or something like that.
No. What about Corrales? What about Corrales?
Diego Corrales is
I
undefeated.
think that's fair. He was higher than Floyd on the pound for pound when Floyd beat him up. And Floyd whooped him. So you gotta be careful digging like that. Because you said 2 people. If you say Manny and Corrales, that's fair. That's legit, actually.
But then why Sam wants to walk away when I say Manny Pacquiao?
But we discussed that. We got past that.
No. Whatever, however you feel, that was how you feel.
That's true.
I'll be damned if I'm putting Manny Pacquiao when Floyd beat him ahead of Sonny Liston and George Foreman when Ali beat them.
Because they knockout artists?
No, because Sonny Liston, George Foreman, when they fought, when George Foreman was 40-0, George Foreman was Sonny Liston after Sonny Liston.
Yes.
Sonny Liston was one of the most intimidating fighters of all time. Beat the crap out of Floyd Patterson. Beat the crap out of him. Busted up people with just his jab.
Destroying Joe Frazier.
Like
Joe Frazier, what?
I said he just came off of destroying Joe Frazier.
And Ken Norton.
Come on, man.
So
I didn't ever say that wasn't
Ken Norton, Joe Frazier, and then who else? Or are you gonna give that
No,
to?
bro. I hold on, bro. I'm not taking no digs at Muhammad Ali resume, bro. I don't want no
I'm
parts
not.
of
No,
that
no, no,
part.
no. I'm not taking a dig at his resume. I'm not. I'm just saying it's not as great as Floyd's.
What?
It's not as good
I
as
don't want to
Floyd's.
even talk like that. Like
Huh?
see, because I got a lot of love and respect for the game. I don't want to even go that way. Cause
Okay.
like it's you talk about heavyweights versus welterweights and 140 fight. You talk about Floyd, you talk about 135 and 130 and 147 fights. And then you want to compare that to like heavyweights, and then Muhammad Ali fought in like one of the heavyweight eras. So I like that's you put it
And
like this.
you know
I
what?
don't have no problem with people that say Muhammad Ali is greater than Floyd, because I would agree that he's greater. If you talk about better at the X's and O's of boxing, I don't think that.
No.
But you
Oh,
don't have to be the best person at the X's and O's in boxing to be the greatest, though.
so then the
Why can't we
best
talk about it
boxer.
like that?
So then Floyd Mayweather is a better boxer than Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, you would expect that out of a welterweight, though, right?
Yeah, yes, out of a welterweight, but why do people
Right. Do
claim
you
that
think that
Muhammad?
Muhammad Ali's a better boxer than Sugar Ray Leonard? A
No,
better
I don't.
boxer?
But let me say this.
All right,
But
hold
why?
on, listen. Hold on, I'm gonna go one further. Do you think Muhammad Ali's a better boxer than say Benitez, Wilfredo Benitez?
No.
Benitez.
See, so that's what I'm saying. So that's like an unfair criticism, because you're talking
Okay,
about a
but
welterweight who's going to be a skilled guy as
Wait,
opposed to a
who has
heavyweight.
more? Who
no.
has
But
more
can I say this
skills,
though?
Wilt
People
Chamberlain
say no, but
or
people
Andre
say,
Iguodala? That's like comparing that shit.
but people say that Muhammad Ali is the best ever, and that's just not true.
Okay. Okay. Well, give me Ali's resume that you said he doesn't have a better resume. Give me Ali's. Give me some of the names of Ali's resume.
Okay,
All right.
I'm not trying to criticize it, but you talking about who has he beat?
No, I'm saying give me some names.
Okay,
Just
Ken
back
Norton,
off of it. Just back off of it,
Ken
youngin'. It's
Norton,
all good.
Ken
Back
Norton,
off that.
Keep
Ken
keep
Norton,
going. Keep going.
Joe Frazier,
Keep going.
George Foreman,
Keep going.
Sonny Liston.
Keep going.
Just great names or just like random names?
I want you to give me some names. You said a
Okay,
resume.
what's that brother's name? I'm forgetting his name. The twin, Leon. What's his name?
Spinks.
Spinks. Yeah, Spinks.
Okay, keep
He's
going.
a champion. Why you want to keep going for it?
Because I want the resume.
You probably, I don't know
Because he's
all. I
saying you
don't know
don't
all of
know
his.
it.
Hold on. I don't
Floyd
know
Patterson.
every single last Muhammad Ali fight. If that's what you're
Yeah,
saying.
No,
Floyd
I want the
Patterson.
resume. Give me some
Okay, hold on.
resume.
Okay, if you're gonna do that, I want you to name off every single Floyd Mayweather resume.
That's not going to be that hard.
Okay, no. He's gonna have to answer the
No,
question.
wait a minute, wait a
If
minute.
you're gonna pigeonhole me to answer everyone on Muhammad Ali's
No.
resume,
I'm saying
then
Ali had over 60 fights, and so far, how many names have you given me?
I give you like 5, 6.
Okay, give me 12.
Why?
That's fair.
But I don't under. But hold on. But what? Why is when you're asking me this question? Are you trying to ask
Because
me this
you
question because
question
you're
the
trying to test my
resume. You
boxing
comparing the
knowledge of Muhammad
resume. I'm
Ali?
not.
Okay, so
I'm
then
not
why are you asking
comparing
the question?
resumes.
Huh?
I'm not comparing resumes of either fighter.
Okay, so then why are you asking the question?
Because you comparing the resumes.
You did. That's why I asked you don't do
No,
that.
and I did compare the resumes. But you tell me give the
Give me
greatest
12
wins,
names
correct?
on Ali's resume.
No, but are we giving 12 names that could be bums, or are we giving the
Give me
greatest
12 names on
wins?
Ali's resume.
I don't have 12 of his name in his resume.
Well, you got a few more that have been posted on the
But
chat, like Oscar Bonavita, Philippe Williams, Archie Moore. You mentioned Floyd Patterson.
Floyd
You
Patterson,
mentioned Ken Norton,
Larry Holmes. There's a
I
Ernie
said
He
bunch
Ken
of
fought
them.
Norton.
all of them, bro.
I
He
said Ken
fought
Norton.
all of them, bro. He just
Jimmy
did.
Young.
Yeah.
He fought all of them, bro, and then he fought too long and kept on fighting all of them. So you can't, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Muhammad Ali, there's nothing wrong with him being the greatest, because he's probably the greatest. If it's not Sugar Ray Robinson, it's him. He's
He
probably the
fought
greatest.
Frazier 3 times. He fought Norton 3 times. He fought Spinks twice. Come on.
He
No,
fought
but
Liston
but
twice.
hold on. Did you
Fought
guys not
Archie
make
Moore.
did you guys not make the comparison? You guys said the greatest and the best. You guys made the differentiate. You differentiated that.
It's
So are
a
you saying
difference.
that? Okay, so if there's a difference, then what I was simply arguing was like the best. I'm
You
arguing
think
about.
Floyd's the best?
Okay,
That's not a bad opinion. Some people might have a different opinion, but I can understand you saying that he's the best at the X's and O's of boxing. Maybe I might share that opinion. I don't know.
I just think Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns destroys Floyd at 5'8"
No,
I wouldn't, I
but that
wouldn't
doesn't
say
mean best, right?
destroys. I wouldn't say destroying. Could they beat Floyd? Yeah.
Thomas
But
Hearns
I
with that
think
right hand,
yeah, but I
eventually
think
he's going to
Floyd
get
could
there.
beat Ray Leonard also. I don't think he could beat Tommy just based off
It,
styles.
Ray
just based
Leonard
off
beat Tommy.
style and,
I think he could beat Ray Leonard. I think he
Listen,
could lose too.
listen. The kind of defense that Floyd got, right?
yeah.
You seen all right, you can't do triangle theory, especially with somebody that wasn't there. But when you looked at the way that Benitez was able to make a miss, and then you think about Floyd, he's a way better fighter offensively, man. That fight not sweet at all. And I'm not saying Tommy might win, but I could see Floyd winning. And then Tommy don't got the best gas tank. Like if Floyd
Okay,
get
but
through the
Tommy beat
beginning of the
Benitez
fight,
over
bro.
15 rounds.
So it's
Tommy
just a
beat
hard,
Benitez
it's a
over
hard,
15 rounds. Tommy
huh?
beat Benitez over 15 rounds.
I feel like
Tommy
from
went
the things
15 with Benitez.
all due respect, from the things that I've heard from people that trained with Floyd, boxed him
Yeah,
and stuff like that,
yeah,
all due
yeah,
respect. From what I've heard, I don't think
yeah.
15 rounds affects that fighter. I think it's certain fighters in the new era who could fight 15 rounds.
I don't disagree with you, but my point is that Thomas Hearns beat Benitez for the belt at 154
He
over
did.
15 rounds.
That
He
was
went
the
15 rounds.
54. So if we talk about 47 Floyd and 47 Tommy, you talk about 47 Floyd, you talking about a grown man, an older man, a
Yeah,
more
but
skilled, more
I said you
experienced
brought
guy.
up
When you talk
Benitez
about
though.
Tommy, hold on. No, because I ain't gonna cut you off. I'm just saying, when you talk about Tommy and you talk about Leonard at 47, you're talking about the beginning of them and the end of the Floyd. So you got to compare their athleticism to his mental.
I'm saying
Which
at
Floyd are we?
147. At
Are we talking
147.
about
47 Floyd. 47
no,
At
Floyd.
47.
which
was like the
47
tail
Floyd?
end
Are
of
we
his
talking
his
about
career.
Gotti Floyd? I feel like
Oh
that's
my
that
God.
would be the best 47 of
Gotti Floyd is
No, Gotti Floyd was at
that's a
140.
geranimal right there. That's what I'm saying.
All right, so if you want to, no, I said let's be fair. Let's use that Floyd,
Okay.
Gotti Floyd.
Ooh. Oh my God.
I'm sticking by one. I'm sticking by both of them would beat Floyd at 147. I'm sorry. That's my opinion.
The
I
only reason,
respect it. I
but
do
the
respect
only
it.
reason
I do
why
respect
Sugar
it.
Ray Leonard would beat Floyd is because his natural size advantage of being a more 147 pounder. That's
Okay,
the
whatever works. Whatever works.
Whatever's clever.
But
Hey,
listen,
hey,
what I'm
Lou,
saying. Hear me out. Hear me out. When a fighter is young, he might be bigger. But y'all seen how Floyd was versus Canelo?
Yeah.
Don't underestimate the mental when a guy is still in shape. And you a little bit bigger than him, but like, bro, he done been around this block 9 times, cuz.
So
You
Sugar
gotta
Ray
really
Leonard not
respect that.
mental. Sugar Ray Leonard doesn't have any mental ability.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying he's still 23 years old. I'm just saying you talk about young, you talking about 47, young Sugar Ray, he's still just young. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying,
hey, I got a question for you, right?
huh?
If somebody were to say Henry Armstrong was the best, would you argue?
Nah, that's hard to, okay. The best
Ooh, I got
in
another
terms
one.
of the best or the greatest, I think Henry Armstrong could be is a greatest argument. I think from the film I saw, if I was to compare a lot of fighters, 147 through from 26 to 160, I could probably name 5 or 10 who I thought were better, but greater. I mean, I don't know if you could have went up and beat those guys like Henry Armstrong did. So when you talk about that, I'm talking about greatness.
All
But
right,
when I'm talking about best, I'm talking
I'll
about
add
skills.
I'll
That's
add
what I was
another fighter into the hat that was up to like heavyweight. Cincinnati Cobra, Ezra Charles.
oh yeah, shit.
I love Ezra Charles. He's one of my favorite fighters ever.
I don't feel like we should compare 15 round fighters to 12 round fighters. It's
That's fair too.
two different eras. It's like comparing before the 3-point line to after the 3-point line. It's a different game.
Right.
That's fair.
Before folks was like dunking on the regular to, now they just,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true because if Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard was a 12-round fight in 81, Hearns would have won decision.
True.
Okay. Right. See, he right, yo. He right, yo. He's right.
Yeah.
He was way ahead on points in that fight.
Yeah, he was.
And he caught up to him with that 14 or 15, right?
He was biting it out of
Yeah, he had a little while longer to catch up to him. And maybe some of the stuff that people say about Tommy Gas Tank is due to like 15-round fights. Maybe he's not like that in 12-round fights. So like you right, yo. Like that's what I be saying. Like it gets sticky when you start comparing them like that, and then you can't do nothing but fight who there, man. Like
Yeah.
you can't do, and then we don't have a carbon copy of everybody in every era. Like, do we got a Tommy Hearns up here where Floyd and them was at? Like the closest thing you could say that Floyd been like that was like Corrales because of the size differential and how
I,
long
I
he
know
was.
that,
But like that's not the same kind of fighter Tommy Hearns is.
I
and
think the close.
I know that like old school said something about
I think the closest
you
person we
know,
had to Thomas Hearns. I think the closest person we had to Thomas Hearns was Deontay Wilder.
Stylistically.
man.
What about Paul?
I know you.
As
I
far as the
You
right
understand what
hand,
you're
talk
saying.
about.
as far as
I
the
know
right
you
hand,
talk about that era like in the 50s, 60s.
What about body frame? What about Paul
The
Williams for body frame?
Paul.
Yeah,
Come on,
Paul
man.
Williams
For,
was
for no,
more
for
of
body
a
frame. It's body frame. That's
motor
all.
He like to
fighter.
fight up close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like the 50s,
He was
60s.
different. He was one of them tall guys.
But shit,
He's
Tommy
one of
Hearns
them
like to
tall
fight up
guys.
close too.
Who?
yo,
Tommy Hearns like to fight up close too a little bit though.
How
it's
about the Punisher versus Floyd? I
it's
still
like
think Floyd beats Paul Williams.
football and basketball were nowhere near as popular back
Keep it on
then as
box.
it is now. Boxing was boxing was the sport, but when basketball came up,
Jay, is that you?
yeah, like when basketball came up in the '80s, and then football, came up pretty much after that.
Jay, you keep going in and out.
Jay going in and out. Yeah.
Hey,
All right,
I want to say something about Boots.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Uh, of course, I'm old school, and I'm used to guys fighting 4 and 5 times a year. Tyson, Ali, Holmes. I hope Boots doesn't get into that 1-2 fight a year atmosphere, and I wish he'd just stay busy because if the guys are not going to fight him, I don't want him to wait around 2 and 3 months to see if the guys are fighting. Just fight 4 times a year. Eventually, you're going to get your title shot.
The thing about that, OG, is that they guarantees be so high after a certain point that the
Yeah.
network can only
Can they afford to
afford.
put him on that many times?
Yeah, in their contracts it'll say, okay, they have to be a main event. But if you got 100 dudes on your roster, you got to, let's say you only got 20 cards in a year.
Yeah.
You got to find a place to fit each one
That's the main
to
event.
uphold your contract. You say, oh, I'm guaranteed at least 2 times. I'm guaranteed 3 times. I'm guaranteed 4 times. So he's only going to be a two fight a year fighter.
Yeah, but Cameron Duncan doesn't have 100 people on his stable like Al Haymon.
Yeah, the problem is they have a deal with Showtime, and Showtime has a certain amount of dates, and PBC is promised a certain amount of dates for Showtime.
Yep.
So that's why you see Boots on a lot of PBC cards.
He should just sign with the BBC.
No, that would be disastrous.
I agree.
I don't want him to sign with Top Rank either.
No, that would be disastrous.
But not top. Where would he go? Not Top Rank either.
Why you think it's disastrous?
Who will be disastrous?
Boots signing with Al Haymon.
Why you think that?
Who's going to sign with Bob Arum?
Huh?
Why you say that?
Why would you want to sign with Bob Arum?
Okay.
No,
I can't answer 2 people at one time.
Yeah. Why you think it's a bad idea for him to sign with the PBC, OJ?
Because because Al Haymon fighters fight once a year, man.
I feel you. I feel you.
They just do. I mean, we're talking about dates now. Al Haymon fighters fight once a year. When the last time Gary Russell fought?
But he's not
Al Haymon fighter.
He's not Al Haymon fighter.
He just connected through that network. Like
okay, I thought he was signed with Al as a manager / advisor. He is.
Not for years, sir.
Huh?
He hasn't been signed to Al Haymon for years.
Okay, well, when he was, how many times did he fight a year?
Twice.
How many times has he fought since he got disconnected from Al?
I don't know, 3 times.
Once a year. Man.
Once a year.
When was the last time Gary Russell fought officially?
Ooh,
It was February of 2020.
Officially, when was the last time he fought?
February
February
2020.
2020, right?
2020.
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Was
Why
it
not?
2019 or 2020? It was before COVID, right?
2020.
It was
Because
2020.
it was, yeah, that was at Allentown.
Okay.
Okay. Why hasn't he fought in 2 years?
Why isn't it done?
But well, it is a couple reasons. Jr. Go ahead, expound on that.
Number one, number one,
Jay, you sound far away, bro.
They ain't going in and out.
Word. It does.
You're going in and out, brother. You're going in and out.
I'll try the phone. I'll be back.
I don't think
Yeah.
I see what you're saying too, but at the same time, I wouldn't want him to sign with Bob Arum either.
No, he signed with
Talk about
Cameron Duncan. Cameron Duncan is a promoter, right?
Yes,
Boost promoters Cameron Duncan.
Yes.
He
but I
got-
mean,
Duncan-
I don't think that he's gonna get the type of exposure he can get though. If he fought with-
Cameron Duncan said in an interview, "I am not giving up fighters who I have nurtured up until this point." So he's not going anywhere. And
Wait.
I think I even heard his dad said, Cameron Duncan's done right by them.
right.
Sir.
Yes.
He gave up Terence Crawford.
Yes. Bob did.
Yeah, but he nurtured them. They gave him up. At some point, like I'm not going to say what they should do in the business in their business. I'm going to say that signing with Eddie has its purpose. Signing with Bob has its purpose. Signing with Al has its purpose. Everybody can do certain things for you. It all depends on what you want out of your career. If you want to be a boss, you want to promote your own fights and do it that way, sign with Al. If you want to be fast tracked to a title, sign with Bob. If you want to be overpaid, sign with Eddie.
But right
Sign with
now,
Eddie Hearn. I was about to say that,
right now, up until this point, Boost has been managed to a point where right now he's number one, number two, number two in all four organizations.
Yes.
Up until this point, without being with Al, without being with Bob, without being with blah, blah, blah. So eventually, within the next year, without being signed to those four, he is still going to get a title shot. That's my point.
But sir, look at it this way. Shakur Stevenson has how many belts?
One.
No. How many titles has he won?
He has a 130 belt right now.
No. He's won 2 belts, two different divisions.
Okay.
Devin Haney's won how many belts?
One.
Teofimo Lopez has won how many belts?
3.
He got 3 right
4.
now, right?
These are all guys who are around Jerron Ennis's age.
You're younger.
Or younger. So
Yes.
what I'm saying is, while I can't say that Cameron hasn't done a good job, you see how signing with other promoters could get you certain things. So it all depends on what you want. Like
That's it. Yeah.
And I think that
T.O. and them got titles early. Devin is getting $3-4 million a fight. Tank got titles early, and by 24, he was already a headliner.
Yo,
So it all depends on
and I think
what you're
that
really looking for in your career.
Jerron Ennis is so talented, is so good that he may find himself in that situation where fighters, if they don't get promoted right and they're so talented, they can't bring up the revenue, he might get severely ducked.
That too.
yeah.
According to Steven Espinoza now, they're going to promote Boots. Now, that's a top dog at Showtime. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to promote him. With or without Al, with or without Bob, with or without Eddie, with or without Oscar. That's from the network guy.
Yeah.
You need a network.
Sir, you're completely right. But if Al doesn't want to give you Earl Spence, now what do you do?
Well, the IBF is going to mandate that you get Earl Spence, right? Eventually.
Oh,
The IBF, they will. The IBF, man,
wait,
go that route.
And if Earl Spence drops the belt, now what?
Then Boots will get that IBF belt.
Yeah, but then he'll be in the same position of like a Terence Crawford, where you have a belt, but they won't.
They're
fight
not
you.
gonna fight you. The only thing about Boots OG is that if you're gonna be at 147, all the fighters at PBC. That's the only thing. And then if you think about it, PBC got a nice amount of the 154 guys that you want to see fight too. So when you that size of guy,
that might be the best place for you. Maybe. I'm just
Right.
saying.
I see the same thing. I
Okay,
thought that Al-Him
but
was right.
right now, Boost is 23. The guys y'all are referring to are getting long in the tooth, and
True.
eventually those guys are going to get weeded out for the Ortizes who are hungry, for
Ooh.
the Ellises who are hungry, and these guys are going to this new wave that's coming in with Boots. You're going to see them fight each other.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, OG, I don't know about that one because we think it's gonna be that way. Remember, Keith Thurman was talking all that rah rah new generation stuff from Floyd, and look when he got a taste of that money, look what happened.
They all do the same shit.
Yep.
But hold on. Keith Thurman might be a bad example though.
Yes, he
Cause he
is.
fought everybody.
Yo, he did, but peep game, right? Hunter versus hunted mentality.
Yeah, he stopped hunting.
When dudes
He
was the
stopped hunting.
hunter,
I
oh
ain't
man, it's
arguing that.
no
I ain't
fuck me,
arguing that. He
son.
stopped hunting.
It's
He stopped hunting.
man down. Man, as soon as them dudes
Yeah, he stopped
start
hunting. He
tasting
stopped hunting.
that pay-per-view money or that main event money, oh man, I gotta talk to my team. We
But
gotta
why
make
is
the
him?
best
Why is
decision
him?
possible.
Why is him? You know Boost and family, right?
Yeah. I'm
You
not the
do
only
you
person over here that does though.
okay? Do you expect that hunger to be lost?
It's what him?
Do you yeah? Do you expect Boost to lose that hunger when he gets to the mountaintop?
I don't expect him to lose that hunger, but I do expect them to make business
Business decisions.
decisions once they reach a certain point.
They're gonna make business decisions. And I
And
would
Agreed.
want them to.
Agreed. He's not
it's the
gonna fight
game.
no up and coming dangerous fighter when he can fight somebody else who's easier, who's a bigger name.
That's why Bud and them not trying to fight him now. Cause look,
Facts.
yo, bro, he a whole load, and y'all not gonna pay me like that, like he a whole load to fight him. That's just true. Like if
And
y'all
can you
listen, if I'm gonna be in that kind of fight, it got to be Errol Spence so I could get paid for it the right way. Because if I
yeah,
fight Boot, y'all not going. It's not worth as much money as harder a challenge he is. Y'all not gonna
That's
give me the money for that amount of challenge.
that's 100% correct because you don't have to right now. But
No,
when you start becoming mandatories, then you have to.
and sir, you will get your ass whipped. Make no mistake. That kid will put something on your ass for a discount. And
Yeah, for a discount.
ain't nobody trying to
Ain't
get
nobody
their
doing
ass
that.
whooped for a
Yeah.
discount. You know? Take
I know.
your 10, go fight Spence. Take your 10, go fight Bud. Take your 10, go fight Keith. You don't want to get your ass whipped for no $2-3 million.
Yeah, that's true.
But
That's true. That's true. But I I don't think Spence really wants the Bud fight. To be honest with you.
that's a common
Nah, it
that's a
won't.
common talking trope of people who just
Oh.
look at it from the outside looking in, but don't really understand things.
Okay, well, school me.
All right, get your pen and paper out.
It's already there.
So
No, he
has
already
Earl?
got it. Cool. He the OG. OG
I
don't
know,
need no
no,
pen and
no,
paper. He
no, my
real.
bad, but
No,
sorry,
school
OG.
me.
I was just
School me.
saying.
School me.
All right, so
I'm
listen.
all ears.
All right, so has again now if Earl Spence now he's been preaching this thing since the beginning. Clean up my side of the street, get these 3 belts, then fight Bud for undisputed. He's on video of saying that. So, assuming he gets past your Dennis Ugas, because I believe he will. If he doesn't go for Bud, then okay, I can say okay, yes, then he's ducking him because there's no other work to be done. But if he does, are you guys who claim that Earl Spence is ducking him and stuff are gonna apologize? Because if he offers him a reasonable split, like a 60-40 split, or maybe even like a 65-35, kind of depending on the pay-per-view up and coming fight. But if he offers him a reasonable split, are you and Bud doesn't take it because we know Bud's a prideful dude. And he already said he's not gonna be the B-side to Earl. Are you same guys who are claiming that he's ducking Bud? Are you guys going to be claiming? Are you guys going to apologize to Earl Spence? Say, you know what? Maybe I didn't like the game plan he gave because I wanted to see it now, but he still fought him at his best, and he still said what he was going to do. Are you going to apologize?
Apologize.
I mean, because like everybody's defaming this guy. They're having a
I'm not
smear
defaming
campaign.
Earl. Earl was one of my favorite fighters. We're born on the same day.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm not defaming Earl. I'm saying right now he's ducking Bud.
But how
But
is it a duck
OG,
when he says he's gonna
Wait,
fight
hold
him
on.
last?
How is he ducking them right now?
Because he's not walking in the Al's office said, "Give me the Bud fight."
Okay.
Stop
And how
ganging
do
up
you
on
and
OG.
sir, how do you know that?
Huh?
And how do you know that?
How do I know what?
How do you know he's not walking into Al's office and saying, "Give me the Bud fight now"?
How do I
no,
know
he ain't
he's?
doing that.
Yeah.
But
How do you know that?
How do I don't know it.
yeah, but
Lenard, you know he's
Didn't you
not.
just say that
yeah, but
you
he
know he's
not
not
doing
walking
that
into the
I know,
though.
office?
We gotta
Lenard,
be
but you
real. We
know
gotta
he's
be
not
even if
doing
we
that.
gonna come at OG, we gotta be real though. He not
Lenard, you
doing
know
that
damn
though.
well he's not doing that. He
He
got a
not doing that
plan,
though.
I know.
and they
I
sticking
like
to
him
their
too.
plan.
No, I'm not saying that he's doing that because I don't. But yes, I'm gonna be reasonable. I don't think he's doing that. But at the same time, I have to go by this guy's word. He's been honest so
Top
far
Rank
about his
ain't trying to
word.
make the fight neither though. It's more
Huh?
so that thing. Listen, Bud is giving in Bud lawsuit. He's saying that Top Rank y'all ain't never make Errol Spence no offer.
Explain that, OG.
Okay, he never made him an offer.
Top Rank didn't. I don't think it's Bud. I don't think that it's Bud necessarily, but I'm saying that, like I said before, yo, Top Rank when it came down to Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, they was not trying to make the Floyd Mayweather fight, but the whole time they kept saying Floyd Mayweather was scared to fight Manny Pacquiao. They wasn't coming to Floyd Mayweather with no type of propositions or none of that. They wasn't really trying. They just was using his name, and meanwhile they had Manny fighting in-house fights. I feel like
But
Top Rank was doing the same thing with Bud Crawford. Whether Bud Crawford knew that that's how they was going, whether he was in cahoots or all that, I'm not trying to say that because I don't know. But I do know that that's the way that Top Rank do. That's a pattern. This
But
Spence thing, this Spence and Bud thing, it has the same pattern of the Floyd versus Pacquiao fight issue.
well, the thing about that one is that it looked like they were trying to maximize the value of a fight between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao
Okay.
Can I say something?
because that they knew that was going to be the biggest fight in boxing.
It
Okay,
was
can I
too.
say something? What do you
Go ahead.
think you're doing with Earl Spence and Terence Crawford? Then, do you think they're not thinking the same way?
Hold
If
on.
I have a big asset with Earl Spence and knowing Terence Crawford has the best chance in the division, the greatest threat to my fighter,
Yeah.
why would
Buzz
I
the
go
counterpart.
and make him?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
It's business. There was a podcast pretty much last week, PBC podcast, where representative from PBC, Tim Smith, kind of
Yes,
like laid it out.
I saw
He
that.
said that a fight between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford right now does not make sense because the value of Terence Crawford does not match what he's asking for in
yep.
order for that fight to take place.
Right.
And is that a
Now,
PBC problem or is that a Terence Crawford problem?
It's
It's
everybody's
PBC
problem
problem
because you
because they
talk
got
about
to
making a
No,
fight
raise
happen.
money
that's a Crawford
for the
problem.
fight.
That's a
No, but
Crawford
you talk
problem.
about making a fight happen, so it's everybody's problem, though, bro. Think about it. Keep it real.
but
It's everybody's problem. Because if that's the case, then we can't make the fight because the money not adding up.
Hey,
So it's
Oh,
everybody's problem.
so then,
real fast,
okay,
Lenard, right?
yeah,
This is basically Crawford fans and PBC haters was like, oh yeah, PBC's broke. No, bro, Earl sells 250 to 300,000 pay-per-views on his own. Bud sells around 100,000, right? So when they're doing their projections, they're going to add that together, and maybe they're like, okay, maybe we'll be able to get another 100,000. But with paying the distributor, what is it, Jay? 30 to 40%?
it's around 30% probably
30,
now. It used to be
30%.
around 40, 45.
You're not going to clear a profit on that if you guarantee Earl and Bud 10 to
10 million
15.
or something.
So he was saying, like, look, we don't want to disrespect Bud. He kept saying we don't want to disrespect them with the offer. All intents and purposes, he's like, bro, what we'll offer you is what we think you're worth, and you'll consider that disrespectful.
Exactly.
Because you don't have a realistic realistic point of view of where you really are. And now we would probably have to need to build you up before we put this goddamn pay-per-view on because they didn't do what they were supposed to do with you.
Exactly. Right. So that means that basically what he was saying is, listen, bro, I'm going to offer you a low offer. That's basically what he's saying.
So I'm not even going to do it because I know that you're a temperamental person. You will feel some type of way emotionally
Yep.
based off of history. He would
And
feel some type of way emotionally if
yep.
they gave him, well, we're going to offer you 5 guaranteed and we'll give you the rest off the back end if we make it.
Yeah, like as emotional and as prideful as Terence Crawford is, like if they give him an offer like that, of course, not only is he going to turn it down, but he's going to be very vocal about that. Like, shoot, you see that from other fighters. Look at what Keith Thurman did when Bob Arum offered that offer to Keith Thurman for him to fight Terence Crawford. You know, he's like, "Come on, Bob. How much money you offer me? Come on, Bob." So Terence Crawford is going to be the same way. And the thing about it is like, I kind of, liken it to, Wilder versus Fury 2. I told this to Jamil earlier. I said, look, in that particular instance, shoot, they had what? A total purse of almost $50 million off the top. $50 million for both of those fighters.
And they made it back.
And the pay-per-views didn't, exceed 800,000 in that particular instance. Or it did. It was around 850,000.
900,000?
Yeah, it was around that range. But I mean, that's 50 million. Or like a total purse like last year. Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant. That total purse was $50 million.
$50 million. Yeah.
But that reached around 900,000 pay-per-view buys.
And so
Spencer Crawford is not going to reach that.
Can we just keep it a buck? Can we just keep it a buck? 250,000 in pay-per-view sales. Even if you are breaking even, you're barely breaking even. That is not a lot of pay-per-view, relatively speaking.
No.
So Spence is not a big draw either on the pay-per-view end.
Yeah, but he still generates more money than Terence Crawford, though.
Yeah, by 100,000, 250 to 125.
Wait, but
that's not
add it up when it compares the money, though. That's
I'm adding it up with the comparison money, and they don't deserve $15 million apiece.
They don't.
No,
yeah, but I'm not even saying 15 million. I'm saying 10 million apiece.
Yeah, they don't deserve that.
No, wait, not even. Hold on, OG. Let me say this.
Yeah,
not even 10 million apiece. As much as these guys deserve it, pound for pound, in the prime fighters going at it, you would think it'd be a $10 million type of fight, but we'll be lucky if this fight even breaks past 500,000, and that's being optimistic.
It's not going to be nowhere near 500. It's not going to be nowhere near 400. You can't go on the streets of America,
right,
and find half of the population who knows who Earl Spence and Terence Crawford are.
Well, here's the thing. We were talking about this earlier with I know that we talked about the thing around Terence Crawford and Top Rank, but even to a certain extent, Errol Spence is not really that popular from a crossover perspective in comparison to a Tank Davis.
He's dry.
He's not.
Oh, man.
He's like, look, man,
I just want to go back to my ranch,
strap
man.
season, man. You know what, man? This is what I'm gonna do, man.
And this is what I'm talking about, fellas. Inactivity plays a part in this, because when you are a once-a-year fighter, or even a twice-a-year fighter, and you're always on pay-per-view, you're not being seen by the masses of America. When you're only drawing 100 to 200,000 people per pay-per-view, the masses of Americans still don't know who you are, and they don't care to know.
Sir,
especially during football season.
I'm not even going to tell you that you're wrong, right? The problem that you have with some of these fighters, and the younger ones really understand marketing. Yes. The older dudes kind of are like, I'm just going to show up, get my check, and then go home. The younger dudes, like, we can say a lot about Ryan Garcia, right? Boxing wise. But Ryan Garcia understands how his demographic works, and he caters to them. These kids just want to see little 10-second clips of shit, and that's what he gives them. The only problem is, I got to remember I'm in the media, so I got to say this properly. The only problem is he leaves a lot to be desired on the boxing side.
Yeah, on
And
the boxing side, he's an average fighter.
Who?
Ryan
Ryan Garcia.
Garcia.
Oh yeah.
He's an average fighter on the boxing end. Uh,
They don't.
But
see,
I just
see,
These dudes now, they don't make you want to watch them.
if you're fighting 3 and 4 times a year, we'll tolerate you fighting a scrub every now and then if you're giving us fights
so
and if you're visible. We'll tolerate uh, a mandatory you never heard of like a Carlos on Campo. We'll tolerate that if you give us 3 or 4 fights a year.
and and yes, and I agree with you. But going back to my original point, I'm saying you say you made a statement saying, "Oh, well, Earl is ducking him," and I gave you all the examples and reasons why. From a business perspective, on the PBC side, number one, and then number two, on Earl's side of the perspective of making as much revenue as I can make, and
Okay.
earning my legacy, being as much champions and earning as many belts as I can before I fight the final boss in Terence Crawford and lay
Okay.
it all out on the table.
I'll give you that. I'll give you
Yes.
that.
Oh,
But give me this. You
okay.
gave me the variables outside the ring. Let's talk about the actual fight inside the ring.
Oh, I love to talk about this. Okay, let's
All
go.
Okay.
right, we're gonna analyze this fight and then we gonna head out because shit, we almost
All
been
right.
on for 3 hours.
All
I didn't
right.
even notice.
Let's
All right,
get it.
go ahead.
Let's
All
get
right.
How
it.
does this fight play out?
I think early on, Earl puts a lot of pressure on Bud, but I do think Bud has a way of adjusting, and Earl, to his detriment, I haven't seen him adjust to issues, i.e., Sean Porter, uh, or to a lesser extent, trying to knock out Mikey Garcia. So I see Bud actually winning a very close fight, maybe even a split decision.
Okay. And how this fight is going to play out in the ring is, I think that in the beginning, I think that it's going to be a crafty fight. I think that Earl's going to try to lay the jab on him. You're going to have Terence Crawford trying to analyze and gather data like he likes to do. And I just think a fight's going to break out because stylistically, Bud loves to trade, and Earl Spence, as when he needs to go on the inside, he's going to go on the inside. So I actually think that this fight's going to end in a knockout. I don't think this fight goes a distance only because of Terence Bud Crawford's ways of liking to trade. And when it becomes an inside fight, so I think Crawford he'd more likely win an outside analytical type of fight, boxing fight. But I think once it becomes an inside fight with Earl's ability to cut off the ring, you're just gonna see a dog fight. And I think in a dog fight, blow for blow, street fight, I think Earl's going to be able to hurt Terence Crawford. It's just a stronger one on the inside. So that's why I think he wins. And I think it's going to be a knockout because I think Crawford's going to go out on his shield. So it's not even about me saying that Earl is better or not better, or he's better at, Crawford's better, whatever. It's just that stylistically, I think that his inside fighting game is superior to Bud's. And I think that Bud's, wanting to trade is going to cost him. And I think that so when it becomes an inside fight, I think that it's going to be a very blow for blow, knockout type of blows going in on the inside. Then I think it's going to end in a knockout on the inside.
Okay, what if they trade when they're not in the ropes and when they're in the middle of the ring? Well, Bud
So
got
you
a
think if
lot to
they're in the
work
middle of
with.
the ring, I think Bud's going to get most of the time going to get the best of it because I think Earl's going to be able to get him with the jab, but I think that if Earl throws other punches, like if he has to kind of lunge in with Terence Crawford's cat-like reflexes, I think that he's going to get the best of it in the middle of the ring.
Hey, Jay, how you see this fight going?
My thing is been looking at both fighters and their kind of like their styles and how they've kind of fought their opponents. Spence is pretty much like patient in what he does, utilizes his jab and works off of that. Terence Crawford, in a way, kind of like looks at what his opponent does and tries to make adjustments off of that. However, with Crawford, is that for a lot of the times with his opponents, he pretty much like switches, from orthodox to southpaw, and then works off of that to try to get his advantage off of fighters. But The reason why he kind of like could do that in a lot of those fights is because he's fighting orthodox fighters.
Ding,
He
ding,
wouldn't
ding.
be doing that. He wouldn't be able to do that against Errol Spence being a natural southpaw himself. So I'll be interested to see how Terence Crawford would try to, approach a fight against Errol Spence, with Errol Spence being a southpaw. Would he kind of switch styles as often against someone like Errol Spence, especially with the length that Errol Spence has? I'm not all too sure about that. I just had to see how Errol Spence, what his conditioning is going to be going into that fight, or at least, when the fight is like signed or whatever it is, to when he goes into camp. He can't be blowing up to 185 or 184 or something like that, trying to get down to 147 pounds to go up against Terence Crawford. He can't do that, So
is that it? You done, Jay? I want to cut you. I want to let you cook.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Jay, you hit the nail right on the head. First off, Terence Crawford can't parry a jab in the orthodox. It's something I noticed. I overrated Crawford's defense. I feel like a lot of people. So Crawford can't parry a jab, and his answer for everything is turning southpaw because it allows him to control distance better. Spence, on the other hand, Spence is the most consistent fighter from round 1 to round 12. He's going to use the jab, close the distance, and then work your body. Problem is he can't make adjustments. That's what you're going to get from Spence from round 1 to round 12. It's a gift and a curse. Bud has the propensity to want to engage in situations where he should retreat because he likes to fight. That favors Spence. Is Spence fast enough to capitalize on it? To be perfectly honest with y'all, I used to think that Bud stopped Spence. Now I'm not sure. This is a 50-50 fight that I have no idea who will win. Based off of, for every plus these guys have, they have a minus that the other fighter can take advantage of.
And did you mention size wise him? I think that has to play a factor here.
I mean, size does play a factor, but also Errol Spence, his injury history is piling up to the Keith Thurman level. So the size, I'm not sure in this fight at this stage of Earl's career. If it had been 2 years prior, yeah, but I'm not sure it's going to play as much as a factor as it would have before the accident. Daoud? Crickets. All right, y'all.
Nothing else to really be said, wise him. I think you gave your opinion. You don't know 50-50. I think that's about where to end it.
All right, y'all. I really thank y'all. We damn near did 3 hours, and it didn't feel like doing 3 hours. Y'all were awesome, man. Everybody in the comment section, thanks for keeping this shit rolling. Do it for y'all. Huntsville, appreciate you having you back, man.
I
Lennar,
appreciate you, man.
always a pleasure.
Always respect,
Daoud,
man. Love you.
My man, Boxing Source. I gotta go live more often, man. Y'all making me feel good about myself. Yeah. Anything y'all want to say before we leave out?
Hey, man, I want to see Boots fight in Atlanta, man. I'll drive 3 hours to see him.
Shit, yeah. I definitely
Pass it on.
He was down there for the Tank fight.
Yeah, but he wasn't in the ring. I want to see him in the ring.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, man. Definitely a good discussion. We have to see what turns out with this whole thing with Crawford and Top Rank. Had
You see this
Brandon
dude?
stupid.
This dude was supposed to be going live with us.
Oh my
This
god.
dude was supposed to go live with us, but now he ain't nowhere to be found. But you want to
Oh
hop
my god. Now he gonna show up.
Is it because we wasn't talking about Mexican fighters? Is that why you ain't show up, B? Being that
Oh
you're
my
the Mexican
god.
delegation of YSM Sports Media?
Yeah, man.
Hey,
Um,
yo, Jay, thanks for joining me, bro. I really appreciate it, man. Great show. When you going live next?
probably tomorrow.
All right, I'll be on there, man. All right, y'all. YSM Sports Media. We out.